result. At the same time, Silo is expanding its digital assets model, investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, while securing cutting-edge technology designed to strengthen and future-proof its crypto strategy. From lab to ledger, Silo Pharma is where breakthrough science meets blockchain innovation. Learn more at silopharma.com.
All right, guys, it is 2 o'clock. Time to send you to the big kahunas who are waiting in the wings, baby. I'll see everybody at the big desk. Take care.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, we...
Market be falling.
Market be falling. We just actually got stopped out like 10 minutes ago at 104 there on this futures trade short. We only had like less than 5% left, but we reloaded that futures. Welcome back, guys. The market is getting crushed right now, and appropriately, obviously, heading into, again, a big earnings week and a lot of nervous hands waiting for Nvidia here today as the market just continues to fall down, man. We've just been like this Palantir short. We reloaded that one. That was a great one. Now you're at the lows of the day here, man. The futures and Apple even continuously lower here as well. Apple's the one that really hasn't broke the day low right now, but welcome back, everybody. It should be a banger of the last 2 hours here.
No, but even like Alphabet, which was so strong all day, like it's been stair-stepped to the downside. Whether it matters, long term how this Buffett thing plays out. Certainly, if they're going to be dip buying to add to position, my assumption is they'll be very patient in doing so. So this is like it's a blip for them, but this is exactly the problem we were discussing on Friday with regards to let me just look. I'll just pull up my futures chart. Right, like all we've done, it's just we have not been able to get past the hump. That's the best way to think about it. Like last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, we were in this range and failed. Friday, we had a huge bounce to get back into the same range, barely above 25,000, and now we're losing it again. Like every time we're bouncing, all we're doing is bouncing to the place that we catapult down from, and then we head back to the lows. So this sell is still on at this point. For the market, and it just feels like 1% isn't even that big of a day. Like, are we not headed for a retest of 24/7 here? It seems like every single time we lose 25,000 on the NASDAQ, we've headed down to 24/7. Can that trend get bucked today? Nasty, nasty. It's not looking good. One of the things that we were saying actually to each other in the middle of the day was, it's not a good market when you just get a downgrade and you're down 9%. Like Dell's down 9% because they got a downgrade. Like that's the story. 9% down, analyst downgrade. Yuck. Yuck.
Yeah, I mean, an SMCI downside as well. The market's falling apart, man. I mean, it's, we sort of ranked some registers, a little while ago, but not enough. NASDAQ down another 1% here. Yeah, not looking good. It's not good when the ES and the NASDAQ right here are both kind of tied, both down 0.85, 0.88, 0.86 right now. I still, man, why I even put that stop at 104 there? It must have been something that I saw. Yeah, that's too bad. All right, now all the way down to 102, but there it goes. The market now making new lows here as we look to see some sort of salvation in this marketplace. I don't know if we can find one, but we'll find one at some point. I don't really want to catch the bottom here.
Like it just doesn't care, it just lands right on
almost got that fly there.
I don't want to
too bad that wasn't on the keyboard. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Too bad it was on the keyboard there. I would have nailed it. But you know what was doing really well today for a minute? Tesla. Yeah, not so much no more here for Tesla as that's going downside here again. So we'll have to wait to see. This was up to 425, man, at one point here. So shout out to our Tesla shareholders, and I'm one of them, so it's not celebrating that. But Tesla's still green today, so that's nice. I was going to say, like, if we're going to try to find some strength, maybe at least here. But
this is starting to feel like capitulation bottomish. But the other thing I was thinking about was I sincerely and honestly and really hoped that my physio guy unwound that whole I'm selling Tesla shares to buy MSTR.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, unless you're able to get out of MSTR.
No, but this was, I stopped my physio months and months ago, and like,
then he's
we don't talk as much. He loves Tesla, so I imagine at some point he saw the Tesla bull rally and realized it was
hopefully.
I just, like, if you think about what's going on in Bitcoin and in crypto, like the BMNRs and MSTR is taking it, like to say that it's taking it on the chin is, like, I don't even, like, look at the daily chart of this thing. Oh, goodness.
We talked about this earlier today. It's down huge.
Like, it's now broken 10% down from the April lows. Like, it's 10% under the April lows, which is absolutely nasty. Okay, this move here, I'm just looking at it until this is it's getting very parabolically low. So I think if there's a bit of a trend break here, I'm going to jump out of that. LAC's from the morning, and Mara is still trending the same way, like Bitcoin's breaking the low of the day. But this is getting like capitulation bottomish. It's time to get out and look for something new. Obviously, we're going to look at all the names that you guys are interested in once we're ready to set up. But yeah, the market is not looking healthy. What's crazy to me is it's not even 1% down. Like I feel like most days when it's bad, like we've already done the worst. But we're halfway to what was the normal down day recently. So yeah, only 1% down on the day. I feel like maybe you catch a little bit of a bounce, maybe short some pops then. I'll have my eyes on AMD, SMCI.
I can't believe that short.
Obviously Bitcoin, Mara, that kind of a thing. But yeah, there's not a lot of places to hide today either. That's the other problem.
Oh man, getting stopped out there on that TQ sucks. Yeah, no, I was gonna say hiding in Tesla for me would be the trade. I still want to think about that here because you're still up on the day there. And then we talked about one of the strongest names, and I feel bad for our viewer day trader there, LA, is suffering on this Google long here as it just keeps on getting worse. And Google's still up 3%, but looking to hold near this 284 right now. So that would be an interesting level here if indeed we do wind up holding right there. Meta, another play off 600. I mean, some of these, bounce off 600 clean right there, Meta. So that might be something. Okay, Meta, okay, I see you. Maybe something there. And then, yeah, as far as the shorts are concerned, I mean, Amazon's been, too many M's. Amazon, AMZN, right there has been, where's AMZN? Oh boy. Amazon hasn't been having a great day even from the beginning of the day there, but got for some reason a nice pump up there, 1130. Actually, I didn't even realize that. So this one started heading to the downside there. And the names that can't make money are not in a good spot right now. The SMRs of the world, the big bear AIs, like some of the names that have been running in the past, obviously today, take a little bit of a break. Right now, as that's down another 10%. Open Door probably back near 750, I believe. Yeah, 770. They're actually holding up pretty good. There's your 750 bounce level. And then in the chip space, I keep seeing Broadcom flashing in front of my face here. Why is that?
It's somehow still
that's
green.
probably why. Yeah, it's still green right now, Broadcom, if green. But looking to potentially get lower here, Broadcom, and then, I don't know, AMD.
You know what's sick?
Yeah.
Remember this morning we were saying how, there's some strength coming into energy? Nope. So much for that.
Thanks, Michael Noss.
No, it's like this. Remember we were looking at specifically XOM.
Yeah, it's no one to blame.
It was trending higher, looking like it was going to break out. The second it got to Friday's high, and it's red again.
Yeah, it's only money. Yeah, you're right. It's only money, Dragos. Yeah, it's only money.
And we're...
It's only a lot less money than we had. That's all. It's and then this crypto nonsense continues to be like, what's up with that, man? I mean, down another 5%. I don't know. When we started today, it was what, 95. Now it's 93. So you're down you're in quite a bit of a bear territory, dare I say it, right now for crypto. I mean, the high of IBIT was $72. You're now down to 52. So if you lost 20 on 70 right now, you're in and around that 23 to 25% of a down draw here on IBIT alone. So yeah, not great here as we just continue to monitor these markets and work through them here today. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us. Yeah, Jay Lee, I was riding that short, man, on these TQs, and then I just had that last 5% left, and I put a stop at 104. So we actually reloaded this on the midday. So this was like an absolutely, it was another one as we ride that bear like you are, Jay Lee. Came back up and we just shorted that 106 area, brought it all the way down to 103. That's $3 before eventually getting stopped out. I wish we were still in it. Let's reload that if it gets back to 103. But yeah, for me, I don't think I'll be looking too long here today. I thought that was a guest we had on the bottom there, and all of a sudden it's just a different, there, 3D Capital.
That ad has like a couple of really good views of shots of Toronto.
Oh, do they? Right here. Is that Toronto? Yep, there's Toronto.
Yeah, look
at the background there.
Look at the little drone footage there.
We want to thank.
Not as cool as that though.
No, nothing is as cool as that. I want to thank everybody. You see that big, huge board in the back there. Yeah, look, if anything, man, I think the market's down so much now. You can actually, instead of even buying the market on dips, if you do find high quality names, they're not few and far between. There's a lot of high quality names that are getting hit every single day. And we're going to go through the list. I mean, check out banks these days, right? I mean, JP Morgan going to crack through 3 bills. It was just at 320. So you're 8% off the all-time highs right here in 3 days. You want an 8% haircut, take it right here on JP Morgan, a very, very high quality name. You mentioned some XOM names going through. Apple, obviously a high quality name, but I can understand stepping away from some of the tech names. That's why we go over to JP Morgan.
No, it's not dipping.
What about a high quality?
It's not dipping.
Which one?
Caterpillar.
Oh, that's exactly what I went to. So
But
Caterpillar.
it's not dipping.
Yeah, or John Deere. No, I know, but whatever. But the fact that they're not, well, it's dipping okay. This is 600 to 550, so you're off the same 8% there in Caterpillar as you are in JP Morgan. You know, and if you want high quality names, you may have to look outside of tech right now. I mean, just because of the sort of the thought of a drawdown there seems to be happening. And we still have the Wednesday night is Nvidia.
Oh, Nvidia.
Oh.
Now everyone's asking Nvidia to save us. Oh, save us.
I think they will. I think Nvidia's going to have a big quarter. Thing is, Nvidia rallying 10% just gets us back to where we were Thursday.
But the thing is, Nvidia rallying 10% doesn't necessarily save the other frothy names. Like, does it necessarily save Oracle? Does it necessarily save like the nuclear energy names?
I don't think Nvidia can say anything about those.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it'll be.
And just Nvidia specific.
Yeah.
Like CoreWeave. Like, have you?
CoreWeave's its own problem.
You know what price it's at? If you can guess? Yeah. Too late.
No, it's
73.
No, it's too late.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have guessed. That's why I asked you. I would have thought like near an 80,
See, but even this is coming to a, like, it wouldn't be interesting to buy CoreWeave back in the 50s. That just seems like a place to take a shot, right? Like the prior high into this support. Yeah, like the more you look at some of these, like Circle's going to get back to its IPO lows almost inevitably. But let's talk about the rundown. I know I have a pretty decent idea which name is going to be at the top of the list, and we can see what else is after Tesla.
Walmart?
Hit the follow, sir. Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where we decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they are locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as signed by you. But the only way to get those tickers right there, you gotta get in the chat. And you gotta vote every day, but make sure before voting, you throw in that $ followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's look at all 4 major averages and take a guess. Yes, all 4 major averages are in negative territory, with the NQ down 0.75%, losing for the moment anyway 24,900, but most notably below 25,000 for now. The ES also trying to hold on to 6,700. It's also down more than 4/5 on the day, but the Dow, after making record highs last week, continues to bleed, trading below 46,800. Leading the way in negativity, though, is the Russell 2000, the small cap heavy index below 2,400 and down 0.25%. Tesla, the first name, though, as decided by you guys. A couple of headlines today on Tesla. Firstly, Stifel did boost the price target from 483 up to 508, maintaining their buy rating. Separately, we heard from the Wall Street Journal that they're very much trying to look to get all the parts that may be sourced from China eliminated, and looking for domestic parts for the domestically sold and produced Teslas. We're talking about at a Fairmont, Austin, etc. So looking to diversify their supply chain, guys, to more domestic sources.
Yeah, Tesla always at the top of the list. It just seems like no matter what Tesla does, it's going to be at the top of the list. We were talking about how it's impossible for any of the crypto-related names to make the top of the. So I see BTC there, but you know, you could, if someone types in $IBIT, then you know, obviously that's not going to count with BTC, and I bet you it would do much better on the list. Like Tesla, like everything else, eventually dropped. Good news. He'll start with the good news first. It's green on the day. And more good news, it's actually catching some support at a key level from Friday, which was 407. Like the afternoon, like the late push in the last 30 minutes was 407, and then support early in the day was 407. I had the short at obviously the wrong spot. Don't even think I was looking for this reversion up here. By the time it got to the top, I was thinking other names, like just short something that's weak and not Tesla, which obviously Tesla would have worked out, but you know, you stick to what is working. Tesla is going to close underneath that 420, unfortunately. So when you look at it from this standpoint, like that support that we had in here, we're going to wick that top and close underneath. So even though Tesla, nice recovery, we said Monday's going to matter more, you're going to end up with like a rejection candle breaking back above that prior support. And as bullish as it's been the most of today, that's not going to be a good looking candle for Tesla. Almost inevitably, right? Like anything can happen in the last hour of the day. It's entirely possible it could jump up $10, $15. I'm thinking that's a little bit unlikely here, given what the market is doing. And all this structure that could send this back into the mid 300s still exists to me, despite the fact it's up 1% today.
Yeah, so, I mean, we love trading Tesla. And, that was quite the move higher there as we waited for the NASDAQ to do something early, right? I mean, when the NASDAQ was making this move, Tesla was as well. And now NASDAQ's doing this and Tesla's doing that. I feel like we're back to following the market here on TSLA, which is not a horrible thing. It makes it pretty easy to guide, but we do know that it's positive. It's greater than the market right here as far as a beta or anything matching what the market's doing as opposed to what they're doing. The market's down 1% and at lows, and we're nowhere even near that. So if we're going to play catch up at some point here today, whether or not you like mustard or ketchup, I think the trade's going to be here with Tesla. I think you just want to wait for it to maybe have found a bottom. If these futures can get going, then maybe we break VWAP at 414. But no point in waiting for this right now. Or sorry, no point in trading it right now. It's better to wait for it and wait to see if this bottom is now in or what. So I would say a trend change is generally the 200 period. That's 416. So I think if we can get into 414, 416 area, these two, the 200 period and VWAP will probably try to join up here around 413, 414. So about $5 more upside. And I think we can start to initiate a little bit of a short look here on Tesla. That's kind of my initial ideas here with it. And yeah, let's go talk about Bitcoin. Part of the problem with Tesla, I think, is also the weakness in Bitcoin and just the weakness in this overall market.
Yeah, guys, Bitcoin continues to drop, trading at 92,225 as it works its way, oh no, down to 90,000. Look, the price has plunged below 96,000, down more than 20% now from the October highs and erasing the 30% year-to-date gains that we had. Major market impacts, obviously, some of the macroeconomic situation, as well as maybe not getting the rate cut in December that we had been projecting, as well as, of course, guys, these leveraged products, which continue to create a lot of volatility in the market. In any event, I bet here, trying to hold on to $52, down 2 1/5.
Yeah, well, this morning we were like, oh, we haven't actually... Well, technically, we haven't gone all the way to that prior support or tested the trend line that was forming for pretty much, I mean, you go all the way back. Like, you could make the argument this trend line starts in 2023. I think you can back in October, and it's been holding. Well, we've done it now. We have gotten to that bottom. Like, we broke that 92. I think 91 something is going to be the low. That all that's left is maybe the next... Maybe there's a little bit of a consolidative bounce, but once this gets lost, 70s, mid to high 70s was the next support level. And then you pull back 3 stages for the first time in a while, since we've made the top end of this range. So it's looking pretty bad. That said, you're at a level where at least intraday, I think maybe you can get a little bit of a bounce zone here, because kind of blowing through it on day one seems a little bit unlikely to me. That being said, it's a short till it's not. I like MARA just, and look, it doesn't really matter. BMNR, MARA, strategy, MicroStrategy, MSTR, whatever. Like, all of these things are going to get crushed a little bit more. Some of them are getting to interesting price areas. So like I have a trail into MARA, and I'm going to short pops probably, but not till 1150. But one of the ones that we're looking at is like Circle. Circle's down 8%. Today.
Oh, wow.
Circle is now underneath the high from its first day of trading. Like, these are prices. Remember, like the first day in the IPO, and we were trading it in the afternoon. That's the last time you saw these prices. Like, it seems like it was yesterday. It was all the way back in June. It has been a few months. But like, the open IPO price is now less than 10% away. We're $6 away from that open at 69. So like, these are levels I expect might have some defense on them. So I don't know if this happens today on Circle, or maybe it's tomorrow, but the IPO open, and then the low price on day one was like 64. Those are 2 levels I'd be looking for some bounce. And on top of that, just as a side note, if it were to get to the first one today, it would be down over 10% in SSR. So I have Circle on my mind for some ridiculously key levels coming all the way, pun intended, full circle.
Yeah, I was still looking at Tesla here. For me, I was going to look at, we talked about MSTR a little bit earlier today as well, and just how much that continues to sort of hit the skids here. There's a lot of people wondering about the leverage associated, obviously, with this name. You know, you can't just keep on issuing shares and going back and forth with it, and eventually I think it's going to wind up burning Mr. Saylor and company here, and if it hasn't already, I mean, I don't, Bitcoin's never going to zero, so I don't know about that, but this has been pretty beat up. So I would just say, man, stay the course here. And I like, and I heard Joe or Sharif say something, or I think Neil and I always talk like this as well. It's like, this was never an asset that made anybody any money. This is just a speculative call. It's not, there's no earnings behind this or anything behind Bitcoin. It's what people are willing to pay today versus tomorrow versus yesterday versus a week from now, and supply and demand is essentially. We can't say, okay, you know, Bitcoin is solving the world's problems or anything like that. There's a lot of people that may think that way, and if you do, then that's fine. I mean, there is a monetary issue right now with just printing so much money, the devaluation of fiat currency. So, you know, Bitcoin's trying to solve that kind of a problem, but it is going to have its peaks and valleys, and right now it's definitely in one of the valleys and a pretty big drawdown. You know, you go from 127 down to 92, that's not great. You know, like if that was the NASDAQ, people would be beyond losing their minds right now. So hopefully a lot of you have been a little conservative with your investments here in crypto and have heeded some kind of warning that this stuff can happen. So yeah, I just say just get comfortable with it because I think there's more to come on all of this. So it's very tough to make a prediction on where stocks or where anything's going, especially when we have such a big earnings week ahead of us. And it's not even the week, it's just we have retail, which is going to give us a good idea of how strong the consumer is, starting with Home Depot, with Walmart coming through, and then Target and whatnot coming as well. And then you also, of course, have Nvidia on Wednesday. So yeah, lots of good talk here, and especially with the next one. There's another retail look right here, Amazon.
Multi-year agreement between Box guys and AWS to transform agentic AI capabilities for the future of enterprise content, reads the headline. So what it is, Box and AWS, Box, obviously under ticker BOX, announced a multi-year collaboration and enhanced AI capabilities for enterprise content. The partnership here between the two companies aims to create new Box AI agents using, of course, AWS's services. And they're focusing here, guys, on secure content and value extraction. So good luck for the company Box, but not so much for Amazon, down 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. Amazon at least bounced off the 50 period today. So on the daily, it was able to hold 229. So for now, this is one of those, okay, it's a Mag 7 name that's trading above the 50 period moving average. We can always come back to that tomorrow and see whether that's actually true. But it was a solid buy off 229. And then look at it kind of ramp job off that level. So I think that's where you're watching this afternoon. I mean, you can make the argument to maybe short this one in front of VWAP. I just feel like the better shorts probably like chip and crypto related if we're gonna reload some of those. But that 229 bears watching here on Amazon. You know, like right now, Google just feels a little bit better in a general sense. And I do think like most of the support hasn't really even been the 50. It's been 50's been okay, but the 200 and specifically like 210 and 215 has been the spot on Amazon. Like it happened on earnings a couple of times now, you know, bouncing in front of it. I think you wait for that if we lose the 50 period moving average. I think you wait for like 210 to 215 here in Amazon. Then of course, with getting more retail earnings this week, you probably want to wait till after that too. You know, especially after Walmart, right? Like, you know, let Walmart report and then see how they react to that. And you might find yourself with a better dip buy.
Yeah, so for Amazon, you got to like the stock. I mean, AWS is going to be huge, and it already is huge, sorry. But again, just quite a nice pullback here from all-time highs. A great spot to start dip buying, though, is the 50-period moving average. We always say that It didn't hold here. You got into the 200. But again, like just imagine you did dip by this into the 50-period moving average. At any point, you would have been happy with it, except for when you dip underneath, and then you wind up holding the 200. So if you were lucky enough or smart enough or, I don't know, to sell up here somewhere around 250 to 260, right now is not a horrible spot to buy a little bit back in and then eventually, potentially, wait for a flush into the 200. So I think that there's something there if you want to wait for it, but you got to be a little patient and do that. So I would start buying here around 230 bucks and basically close your eyes. Like it's just a matter of, if you like the stock, you're never going to get in at exactly the right spot. Most of the time when I'm speaking, it's going to be, you know, what names do we like and are they at levels, you know, that can somewhat be supported? Because, like, look at the NASDAQ right here. I still can't believe I'm still not net short the Qs. Like, I should still be in that trade. But you're breaking lower right now. So to sit around and catch falling knives here on these stocks seems a bit ridiculous. So if you want to start with 100 shares to build up like a 1,000-share position or something on Amazon, why not do it right here at, I mean, maybe it's 1,000's a lot, but right here at 230 and then start from there. So yeah, good level for Amazon, probably more downside. Look at this market. Now over to DVLT.
Well, Katina, man, they reported earnings and the market liked it a lot because it rocketed up there. It's up only 3% now off the highs. They get up into that 219. Report is as follows. Q3 2025 revenue up 148% year over year. Up to $2.9 million, I don't mean to laugh. Net loss down 33 cents per share, but a lot better than the $1.39 loss the street was expecting there. And they also raised their 2025 full year outlook by $30 million and 2026 by over $200 million, up 3%.
Yeah, okay, so the market cap is $500 million, and you guys just heard the revenue number. So frothy much? But I guess it's already pulled back. It got cut in half already from the highs. So you could make the argument that it's done the decisive dip, and hey, look, it's bouncing off the 50 here. Just, you know, this is also, we keep talking about these companies that, you know, forget about price to earnings. If your price to sales is insane, it's not going to bode well. And like, I want to try to say, yeah, the only thing I could say here is you've held that 50 period, so maybe there's something above that 160 level, and you can keep a little bit of a trend. But look at the selling at $2, and it's already underneath it. As far as just looking for like a small capper that could be gapped up and going, well, that doesn't look like one to me. Lower highs under VWAP, all that. So this actually looks pretty. It actually looks bearish on the afternoon as well, underneath $2. Not much positive to say about DVLT. And it's not even that big a short float. Less than double digits on the short float as well, and did not sustain this morning's move. This one will be a pass. Maybe volume comes in or something, you take a 2 break later, but probably not.
Yeah, like I don't think these trades are like too rocket science-y, right? I mean, this is 65,000 shares right now traded on the day. 65 million shares, sorry. It only has a 260 million share float. So, you know, a lot of traders get real excited early, as Sharif had mentioned, a good beat. So they get excited early, then it just comes right back into reality. I think it even surprised Sharif a little bit when it was only up 3% there because it was really rocking early and now it's just sort of faded with the rest of the market. So sorry about Data Vault there, traders. But yeah, this one does not look like you can open up the vault and get some profits anytime soon here. So I'd watch out for Data Vault. Good name on the daily here, but we just topped out again 3 days in a row, topping out around 215. Sorry, 3 times in the last week or so, topping out at 215. I think that might have showed you where it wants to go from here. So yeah, great trade if you're able to find it. Data Vault.
All right, guys, let's talk about Nvidia reporting after the bell on Wednesday. It should be a big one. Here's what we're expecting, guys. On revenue, we're looking for $54.84 billion with EPS coming in at $1.25. We'll have to see how the company guides. Their previous guidance was between $52.92 billion up to $55.08. So the expectation here, 54.84 is within that range. Separately, again today, we got comments from Jensen Huang, the CEO, over the weekend about a $500 billion backlog between this year and next year for his advanced AI chips. That includes the new Rubin as well as the Blackwell chipsets, guys, as well as the networking components. So Nvidia on the day down 2.5.
Yeah, well, cross your fingers and hope Nvidia doesn't break 185, I suppose, at this particular moment, because that was morning support and it was Friday support after the ramp, like the ramp job that happened in the first like 15 to 30 minutes. Basically, it then held 185 on Friday, and now you've double bottomed it here today. If we lose that shelf, I mean, the gap down, I think, is pretty obvious. Look, the reality with Nvidia is as bad as it seems like it's been. Like, this is pulled back, like, again, how many times we said 8% from the highs, right? Like, pretty much, you know, the same as the market, and it's held a 50 period. If this were to get down to like bigger numbers, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this up on a monthly chart, just to put a little bit of perspective into Nvidia, just in particular. Like, if you look at the monthly chart on this, whoops, where did that go? There we go. On a monthly chart, this doesn't even look that bad. Like, you could pull back into the prior high in the monthly, would be like 155. That's another 30 bucks from here. Like, if it pulled back into that high, like, that's still kind of structurally not ridiculous. We're back into 170. So, like, the downside potential is bigger. All that said, this is the biggest down month that we've had, notionally, since this run started. So, like, that's already a very, very hefty pullback. I kind of feel like there's other, like, there's more dangerous names here at the top. Certainly, like, and look, I know I've been sort of harping on SMCI a little bit here, but you had the Dell news, and then they're down another 7%. Like, this feels like almost a lock to see the high 20s, if not the 30s. So I think they're getting punked. Intel seems like it's made an obvious top. It's literally losing the 50-period moving average as we speak. That's down 16% from the highs, double what Nvidia is. And if that pulled back into 25, would anybody be really that shocked? I don't necessarily think so. So I think there's some weaker names than Nvidia out here that could be in a little bit of imminent trouble.
All right, we have a new position alert right here. We're going to go with Tesla. So I don't know. I'm just going to see, like I said, it looked like the market was trying to battle back there a little bit. I considered this break here. We're going to only give it to 406.50. So not a huge position here. Just a thought. So I was gonna, I didn't, like, it almost broke 410, but that was gonna be a level that I sort of was looking at. I was like, you know what, if we can go back to the upside, we may have bounced off of here a little bit, 407. So I'm gonna wait, I'll put on, oh man, that's
lovely.
That's very squeaky. But we're gonna put on basically like a third of a unit or so. I don't even, like, basically 1 unit for Tesla purposes here. And why I say that is this is trying to catch lightning in a bottle now. Like, you know, definitely something where you say, like, I'm green on the day, so not something where it's like I'm willing to turn red on or anything like that here. And we haven't had a hugely success. We've had some great trades, but we did have, we lost on Apple, and then we didn't get the greatest price on the Our Palantir trade is something else. But I'm kind of working on trades specifically here, not to combine net on the whole day. But this particular trade, I don't want to lose a boatload on this if we're wrong. So I'm gonna try to buy again. I have another bid right now at 407.15s, so that might come in right there. And then I'm gonna just try to use basically 406.75 as our most recent bottom. And if that breaks, then we're gone out of here. 406.50 out for Tesla. Trying to give this a little bit of room. Right now we're out 50 cents. Very, very comfortable holding on to this trade and looking to get some more downside right now at 407.15. So if that prints, which is, there it is, we just got it. So here it goes. We may be out of this trade even before I can even finish talking about it. 406.50, we're gone. Tesla, there's our price, 407.85. So let's give this one about $1.50 or so to see if it does want to move off this level. But the market just hit new lows. So, you know, it is what it is right now. Trying to catch a little bit of lightning in a bottle here.
I just heard silver's falling. Like, even the metals have been reacting to this rate story not very well. I'm going to hit the restart on the refresh on this. Louis Julian, gold is selling off, but you know what? You can type $GLD in the chat, and then it'll show up here. So I'm going to do a fresh start. My guess is Tesla probably still stays at the top. See, someone just typed in, maybe you just did GLD.
Nice.
So I'll do SLV. Why not? Just to get it on there. And now gold and silver, probably for the only time ever, are going to be 1 and 2. Hey, there we go. Get him in there, SMR. Coke. That's an interesting one. So just keep those coming in. Obviously, want to make sure we're looking at what everyone wants to. So here's SLV, which I was actually just about to look at. This is what's nasty. Double top. This is pulling back into the 50 period. Now, unlike some of the other things, I think this one might actually be a dip buy if we get down to 43 in the 50 period moving average. But this is just this is like an everything sucks kind of move that we're looking at right now. It kind of is what it is. But I have my eyes on the fact that IBIT, or at least Bitcoin, right now, see that bounce? Like that Bitcoin bounce, so you're catching a little bit of a wick bottom as 92 is holding, and I'm still in the last of this Mara. So I've got a trend line from VWAP in here that I keep on moving my trail to. But it feels like you're making a little bit of an attempt at the bottom here, at least in crypto. And if that's the case, then it's that time to maybe jump out of some trades. Rusty Dutch, don't fall for these BTC bounces. Well, I'll trail out of it. I don't mind getting back in. If we bounce, I'll try to get back in at better prices, but I don't want to give it all up and then not have a chance to either maybe like reload it on the trend line or reload it at 1150. Like I'd rather stop it out here and then see if it's worth getting back in at the top of the trend line, or get back in at 1150 or get back in at VWAP. That's where my head is going to be at here. 92 might not hold, but this is a day trade. There's 90 minutes left in the day. There's still opportunities out there for this thing to move around. So want to make sure we're looking at all the names you guys are interested in. And I just saw BMNR in there. Obviously, when I said Bitcoin's making a little bit of a bounce, yeah, like this is also attempting to make a bottoming tail candle. And now SSR, 11% to the downside. 11 on BMNR. What's the actual all-time low here?
All-time low?
Oh, you know what? That's because it did this.
Yeah, it's hard to know that.
Yeah, because it went from like $5. But effectively, since BMNR went parabolic, I think the realistic low is right here. It is this $30 area that it's testing right now. So you are 1.5%, maybe 2% away from flat bottom breaking on BMNR. Like that's nasty. Like we come in tomorrow and this is under $30, Bitcoin breaks 90, like this is probably the short. Like forget about Mara or MSTR. Like MSTR, yeah, MSTR is already broken down. BMNR, man.
Yeah, all these,
I'm kind of half speechless because in my head, I don't really track BMNR that much. I didn't realize it was that bad, to be honest. You pull up the chart and you're like, man, that's way worse than what I thought that chart looked like on BMNR. Like I look at MSTR, I had no idea. You're all the way effectively at kind of like an all-time low on BMNR.
We could have, it just printed 408 Tesla. Like we could have, or close enough to that. And so now I don't know. I was going to put an offer there at 408, but I don't really want to. We're only long at 407.90. So it's more, I'm 408.95. Okay. Let me just put one at 408.50s, just for like 10%. If it gets up there, but like for right now, it's just like a matter of waiting for Tesla to go. It's the long that I have on right now.
You know, it'd be really cool if we could like move this Tesla.
Yeah, wait till 4 o'clock and get in a what, Aziz? What's up, Aziz? In the chat there. The only one that's really hitting anything for me is Tesla. We did have Roblox looking at 100 again today. That broke, it looks like, around 11:30-ish or so. Broke into 99.80 and stopped. So again, everyone's asking us, and I see in the chat, like, why is the market doing this? I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm not having like an effect of the market here at all. This is just they're blasting something in the background. It's all good. This is more for dramatic effect, of course. But there it is, $55. See, I'm still in that.
They're drilling through the low of the day.
Yeah, they're drilling. This is the NASDAQ. They're drilling for oil. But right here, this is part of what's happening right now to the overall market, right? You got a 55% chance of no rate hike at all. Or no rate cut, sorry. 55% chance of no cut with a 44% chance, so 55-45 right now, leaning now. I think you can go back, like look at that, 1 month ago, it was 93% chance that we were gonna get 350 to 375, 90, I don't know if you guys can see that. But 1 month ago, 93% chance, you know, of 350 to 750, 350 to 375. Now you're at, so you chop that in half right now. Just 1 week ago, it was 62%, you know, and now you flipped it over the other way around. There goes bye-bye, by the way. So we'll have to slap a fail on it, but our nets were almost nothing right there to the downside. So you could see right there, Tesla just dropped out right there again through 406.50. So that came out a little bit. But there's Neil, he's got on the headphones there.
Ramin came over.
I just put in my other AirPod and then cancel this all.
That was good.
These are noise canceling. I don't know, these are pretty good. Probably better for you.
Actually, you know what? If you get what's interesting about the noise cancellation is you get older. If you ever have any susceptibility to vertigo, the super noise canceling isn't actually that good for you because like part of, anyways, it's like a big balance.
That makes sense,
yeah. I remember I was told that because I had a bout like a few years ago, and then like watch out for that when you wear earbuds. Man. Not that it's happened.
I still want to buy this Tesla.
But, this market. No, I wish I could tell you they're doing anything except dumping. The quantum names. I
can't believe I'm not short still.
Dumpsville. Only 5% down for Rigetti. I guess that's at least something. I'm just looking for something that's setting up like right now. Stango Mango, last Friday you said Monday will be more important to understand when this market is really going and it's tanking. Yeah. I said I do believe that. I didn't believe that the rally on Friday was telling us anything. Because I'll go back to the futures chart. It's effectively like, look at the NASDAQ, look at the ES, same story. It doesn't matter which one I look at. All we did last Friday is the thing we did the Friday before, is dump the same level to find the same bid and not follow through. So to me, if buyers had followed through and bought up here to take us into a new high, that would be something. This is, now we're just back to square one, which, again, it's now a triple bottom here on the futures. I kind of wish it hadn't gone this way, but that's how it is. So it looks like we're headed lower. Zed in the chat, or Z, the MSTR subreddit users are buying more MSTR using margin. Is that still not risky? Well, I guess some people really believe. Look, I'll be a dip buyer of Bitcoin. I won't be a buyer of MSTR. Like someone in the chat mentioned, this is a good point. Like how good has the old, just go like when you're buying into Bitcoin, short MSTR. Like that's worked pretty well, you know.
That's
like,
not bad, actually. That's not a bad hedge.
But it's like that hedge. I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of. There's hedge funds that are doing that.
I think so.
That's working out pretty well for them. I would imagine if hedge funds are doing that, then there's got to be some funds that are doing the same thing with ETH and BMNR, because like what are we at 3,000? Double check. 3,100 on ETH. So like if that breaks down, you could be like, if you like ETH, just don't. DCA into that and short BMNR or whatever. But that trade feels like it's worked so well. Do you put that hedge on now? I don't know. Or do you just stay away? Wait for some kind of a capitulatory sign at the lows. Like I think that's what you're looking for. Like either you get to those 70s or you're waiting for some kind of capitulation bottom. That's all. Is Ethereum, is it under? Oh, you know what?
Ethereum?
You know what happened? My thing.
Yeah, it's 3,000.
Yeah, my thing is if I only looked at Bitcoin today and I hadn't actually pulled this up, I didn't refresh it. We are under 3,000 already. Ignore me. I just only look at Bitcoin, so I don't refresh it over the weekend. And by that was the first time I clicked it. So down 5%, underneath 3,000. This is already breaking down. So what's the next level? Here I can actually go ETH, I believe, and then this should actually pull it up so I can see where 24. 24? That's what we're waiting for?
It's bad. I mean, this is the thing.
24, which is, there's symmetry to that because the next support level is exactly 50% from the highs. That's something.
Oh, boy.
I think ETH might be, ETH at 2,400. That could be a play.
I cannot believe.
That's a play.
I can't believe we got stopped out of that future short, but I think that's right. I think you got to wait just a little bit longer for all these crypto and even the NASDAQ to settle down a bit more. We were saying last week, I mean, volatility is heightened, right? I mean, you have the NASDAQ right now whipping around. You had a couple 2% moves last week. You were down 2% intraday and then ripped up to close green on Friday. I don't get the same feeling today. But I do have a feeling on Tesla again, and I want to go if we break 408. I want to go long. I just think there's so much upside here. And look, we lost already. It's fine. Small little drop in the bucket, but we're going to try to go again. Breaking this 50-period moving average is 408. Look, we really haven't broken it at all. The last time we went to the downside was 12.15 right there. That's a break up to VWAP. This time, if we break it and go to VWAP, I'd be fine with that because that would be a huge move up. And if you want to drop down there, I don't think I'll still be in it if we're in the money $5. Well, maybe we'll be in some of it and we can address it at that point. But right now, if we could break 408 and then maybe even just use this 21 period as a route after that, give it about $1, maybe $1.50 to the downside. I'm using enough shares right now that this is what goes through my mind is if it breaks 408, do I want to go in? So that question first is yes. I've already picked a stock that I think can rally, you know, significantly if this market rebounds here this afternoon. So I still don't think the market's necessarily going to rebound as much as maybe we hope it to. But let's just say we can rebound just a little bit, get 20% back or something like that. I do think that Tesla would be a good little look there. If you're going to try to go short, I've already indicated a name like Amazon, I think is a good short into a day like today, especially with retail coming through. Amazon could be a good short if we get to VWAP there or here, or even a break of 230. Lets that start to fall back down into the downside, so I like that for a short. I got out live on the show last week at 256 on AMD and not willing to reload that yet. Like you guys know, we're trying to get into a little bit of cash. So this was actually the very last trade I made before we went to hockey on Friday, was shorting this one and getting out of it at 256. It's not like 256 was that great. We were just there on Thursday, right up there, which is where we shorted it during lunchtime. Now it's 238, so I think this could go down even further again. Look at the trajectory here. Back up to the 50-period moving average of 239, probably sends this name a little bit lower as well. And then just a quick little look at all of the names in the universe today. Finance getting hit, right? Everything. This is oh my God, Neil. This is going to be, I killed the fly. Yeah, so I caught the fly in my hands. I don't know if you can, yeah, it's not good, but there it is.
It's over.
I mean, there it is. So sorry about that fly right there. Anyways, I feel bad.
They have a short lifespan. Come on, the flies die. Like,
yeah, anyways, that was,
He had to go.
Yeah,
it's all over keyboards. You can't hit it when it's on the keyboard. That's a frustrating thing. It's like he was smart for a little bit.
Well, the fly tried to, come through, but no, it was bothering everybody. I feel bad about getting rid of it there, but the market is really starting to go down, man. IBM's CRM right here as well, downside. Palantir, Meta, Oracle, Palo Alto even, yeah, Softy over there. I don't know why Microsoft's this big, like considering like Meta probably like all these other names should be. I don't know why. I think maybe total value.
I think they do theirs more by market.
Market. That's what I'm saying. So as down 1% on a, $4 trillion name, I guess, is what's bleeding. But yeah, like Datadog, Take-Two. We had an upgrade on Snowflake, I think, today, but that's probably downside as well. All right, we'll talk more about this when we get back from Adara. I mean, all the financials also down nearing 2%. So not a great day. Broader market. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, we've talked about the fact that Donald Trump, U.S. president, has finally started his FIFA stream. I say finally because he is roughly 45 minutes late. This was supposed to start at 2 p.m., but right now he is speaking with a collection of individuals here, including the president of FIFA. He's also has up with him Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So it's quite the group. If anything market-related is said, I'll keep you guys posted. But either way, this FIFA-related press conference with Trump has just started, and I'll be here to cover it all for you live.
For anyone that wasn't looking at the move there in gold, like this was GLD 15 minutes ago. If you don't think this isn't like an everyday kind of bleed, like this is what makes it feel like you could be getting some capitulatory bottoms, at least in the short term, right? Like at least, like I said, at least in the short term. So like this is a bit of a bottoming tail looking to reverse. I'm still looking for that reversal in Mara. Oh, the other place. Oh, here's the other thing I was looking at just a couple of minutes ago. Is you just got to 34.5, almost at the absolute bottom, like round trip on Intel. Like that's a bottom I'm also looking for a bit of a reversion on. But I think you're getting a little bit of a bottoming tail. So I said I would jump out and look for potential re-entry if we broke prior channel, a couple of cents away from trailing out of Mara, and then just looking for a re-entry point. Might be 1150, might be 1135, kind of cross that bridge when we do get to it. Bitcoin is trying to bounce off 92 as we speak, so there's a little bit of a bounce attempting to happen here. But as I say that, I just want to put things into perspective. On a 15-minute on the NQ, there's one green candle since the middle of the day. That's it, like one. So we haven't even put one, you were kind of bouncing, we haven't even put in a single green candle at these lows. So just be patient with it. For now, the trend is still on, easily.
We're trying to go long Tesla 408 if that breaks. But right now, we do have to remind you guys that if you are a sophisticated trader and looking for 3 times the leverage, go make sure you check out Global X. They have this Beta Pro product, and you can see on the screen right now, it does offer 3 times daily levered ETFs, including S&P, the TSX 60, utilities is another one there, the treasuries, semiconductors, they're all over the place. And also, they are dropping, so it's more competitive pricing. December 31st, their management fee is down to just 65 basis points. So great opportunity there. Go have a look. Thank you to betapro.ca/3 times daily, as you can see right there on our screen. Scan the QR code, it takes you right there. If you want to learn more about getting 3X, this might not be a bad opportunity to do that, especially if you do think this market potentially is going to bounce from here, get 3 times the exposure on that. Is just like the TQs, right? So here's the NASDAQ down 1.15. What I normally trade is the TQQs, and you can see they're down 3 times the exposure there, right? So that gives you that difference, minus 1.14 versus 3.5. Remember, please, like, these are not meant to be traded daily. It's meant to be held, you know, over an extended period of time, because you get the decay in that relationship with options. And so you're continuously paying fees if you do hold this in your account. But for a swing trade, you're going to hold this for a couple weeks or days. Yeah, TQs and the Beta Pro product, definitely something to grab a look at. Yeah, it looks like that Tesla trade, man. I still have it in to see if we break right there, but I don't know. So we're going to have to wait, sitting on our hands a little bit here until that does happen. It's one of the trades that I really look forward to taking. I'm going to refresh right now my e-signal charts just to make sure that I get the right look, because right now I just get here, all my alerts are just Tesla, 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 and that's from 2:30. So I don't think that's right. So I'm just going to reboot right now and go new, reload the page, which will fire this all back up, and then we'll get a better look to see if there's anything actually ticking out right now. PLTR. Yeah, down through 170 again. So we were really short this name. We got stopped out right where we got short the second time. This starting to bleed down another 3%. And again, like off the highs of 220. That 220, forget about it. It's more like this 200 area. 205, you could have got out day after earnings. So I feel like between 200 to 205 is a good level for Palantir, but still looks like it wants lower right now. So Palantir still not out of the way. This is actually not a bad get up area. If it breaks 170 back to the upside, I could see that. So maybe Palantir back upside 170. And then of course, Tesla is what I'm looking at. Robinhood, yuck, man. I don't know. Like when this was at 150, I said I'll see at 100. Didn't think it'd be this quick, man. But a week later, that's where we are. This name has dropped 50, I was gonna say 50%, but that's not right math. $50 almost here. I don't wanna say a straight line because there was a little bit of a get up there, but we did double top here. Middle of October, 153. Now you're down, so it's not $50, it's $40 now. All the way back down to the downside. So you're getting off about 20% down there on Robinhood, as well as another name that I really like, SoFi. And then the name that I think everybody that's been dripping into this has been dripping blood here, like you're on an IV right now. Webull, down to $7.
I hate IVs.
And just, yeah. It's to your point about that whole WonderFi. Like, a lot of these names, man, like, you know, if Webull is like a WonderFi.
They're never gonna close that.
I know, this was at $16. Now it's at $8. So I'm thinking Robinhood might not want to buy WonderFi anymore.
You know what? It is.
What the hell, Neil? The fly is alive. Look at this.
Get the hell out.
Look at it walking around. But it's just clearly disabled. Right now I have to really...
I think you should just put it out.
I have to put it out of its misery.
Yeah, you just put it out of its misery. No, legitimately, it was like hobbling around. That's just sad.
Bye-bye.
No, that's...
But I did grab it. I feel like that was a good Mr. Miyagi moment.
So it straight up played dead for like a good 5 minutes.
Well, it was I left it there, and then I was like,
that's a smart fly. You played dead, and then thought maybe, you know what, if I play dead
tried
long
to sneak
enough,
away,
and then I could creep away.
But I think I broke one of its legs or something. All right, not
you
good,
broke,
not good.
no, the wing was all mashed. You broke more than just leg. Yeah, a couple legs were mashed, and the wing was all mashed up.
Wipe our hands.
So what I was gonna say,
disinfectant.
It's so bad in crypto land that you could, like Robinhood is buying WonderFi for 36 cents per share. 36 cents per share. 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, they provided an update saying that this deal is expected to close in the middle of next year. That means you could actually buy this right now for as many shares as you wanted at like 26 or 27 cents, and then get 36 cents in essentially 7 months. Like, that's how bad things are in crypto, that nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And I've seen nothing to say this deal won't close, but that's crazy. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But candidly speaking, I've been buying some. So I'm like, whatever, I don't know where else to put the money in. And someone's like, don't get out if there's a pop. Let the market go down. But my trail hit on Mara, so I am out of this one. I was looking to either reload at top of trend line or more likely 1150. Neither one of those things are going to happen if we continue lower. Bitcoin just hit 91.7. We are still heading to the downside. 91.7 on Bitcoin. IBIT, the light trailed out. I think we're just hitting some fresh lows in here. Yeah, unfortunately, still looking pretty nasty. Coinbase backed out. They could back out. The only thing with Robinhood and WonderFi is, yeah, even if they would, they got such a ridiculous steal, and it was so small for them that I can't see like why they'd even bother. Like WonderFi was pretty chump change. So
yeah, it's not a big
yeah, like the deal was so ridiculously small in their terms that it's like, yeah, whatever. It would be surprising to me if they did, but this move down, like yikes. I thought maybe you were getting. Remember we said that there could be a little bit of a bounce. Like gold looks like it was trying to reverse, silver looked like they're trying to reverse. Nope, not anymore. Not anymore. Fresh low for GLD, right at the low for SLV. I'm kind of looking over my regular list of wanted to short the pop. SMCI didn't come anywhere close to prior resistance. Like that's still heading lower. Not much of anything is doing good. The only thing that's strong
Laura's fine.
Is the VIX. Like if I look at my, what's up?
I heard her mention Laura, but I don't know if she knows who that is. So
oh, okay.
Like the assistant for the show.
No, if you look at what's actually up today, I mean, look, Alphabet kind of doesn't count because if you look at it from the open, it's actually down. Like I like to sort by this at this time of day. Like up since the open on my board, UVXY, Eli Lilly, Tesla, I mean Moderna. I have TD because I own the stock, whatever. Broadcom is very barely up since the open, and pretty much everything else will be red. This is just the stuff that I'm looking at. Go Eli Lilly. What does that tell you about Eli Lilly?
What's it
also,
doing?
well, from the open, it's actually up. The other thing that tells me is why do I not have Caterpillar on my quote board? I just realized that I should, so I'm going to add that now. I must have deleted it or something. Usually Caterpillar is on my,
up on there.
almost always on my quote board, but it's not, which means I must have screwed up and deleted it. So I'm going to put that on there. Eli Lilly, like I said, relatively strong name. If healthcare is going to be good, then they're going to be great. Look at it, holding on for dear life, but that's a strong stock. I'm not necessarily saying it's a place to hide at all-time highs, but if you can find some value in healthcare, maybe energy, maybe you're okay. J&J, someone just said is green. That makes sense to me. That's another, that's another one, sort of steady eddy to the upside. The healthcare names are the jam, at least for now. I'm just looking for bottoms. I saw someone saying Palantir. A couple of people were saying, look at Palantir.
Were they?
I mean, it's shaping out a bottom, but isn't everything else? Like everything kind of looks like this, consolidating off the lows. Like what I want to see is break some of these and start trading up in here, and then it's a long. Not, I can use a drawing tool, but you guys get the idea. As long as you're still trend down, I'd rather not be trying to take anything, trying to bounce off the bottom. I want something which is in a clean downtrend and breaking said clean downtrend. If I don't see that, then there might not be that many trading opportunities this afternoon. Maybe we should have just held on as we keep breaking lows. That's the story of this afternoon.
Yep, it's definitely trending a little lower. I did adjust my Tesla expectations here. I'm at 407.50 right now. Just this break right here of, again, the 50-period moving average. I just want to give it a go. I really think that we could, this is why I see how I'm not trying to catch falling knives here. Like I'm not bidding 405.50, although 405.50 has been such a great bottom. Therefore, Tesla, at least in the last 20 minutes, I'm still not sitting there buying it because like what's going to happen is I'm going to get filled. I'm going to wind up punching out at 405. Like I'm going to get filled on the way down, and then it's going to do that. I'd rather try to play some kind of a momentum game here, breaking back to the upside. I still cannot, honestly, even though it was such a small trade that I had left, that stop out right there is like, wow, epically sucky right now. But we did have a good short in the TQs and another good short right there. And now it looks like we're on our way to break $100, man, on the NASDAQ, and not good. Breaking now below 25,000, yuck. Oh, man, it's not a great day to be looking at things, I think, right now. I really like SoFi to the long side. But other than that, if we go through our little list here, this is what's going off on my list today. We kind of always do this. There we go. Yeah, Andre likes to zoom in on this, which is probably a good thing. If I just go into, what's been green today, if we sort by green right there, we've got Google, Alibaba, and Tesla are the green names. Let's call up Tesla right here because I'm going to get into this if it breaks 407.50. Then we've got Uber barely holding on. It's nice to see Broadcom holding on today. Disney, that doesn't excite me that much, but still okay. We'll go to Adara, then we'll come back and I'll show you the other side of this list. And you don't want to see that. If you are nervous about red, don't look. Let's go back over to Adara, then we'll come back here.
Trump just started taking questions at this FIFA event. He's really only discussed FIFA right now. First question is also related to their FIFA pass, which has to do with getting visas for people to come experience FIFA. Again, if I get anything else here, I'll let you know. But either way here, Trump just started taking questions at this FIFA event as we send you back to Sean and Neil.
Oh, someone's going to ask the guy something about, either, maybe not about crypto, but definitely about the market, and maybe something about these numbers that are coming out. What does Trump think about inflation? I mean, they've said that it's really at levels that they like right now, in and around that 2%. So we'll see if we can get that, and then it's going to be the employment that's going to be probably a problem once we see that employment number. If it's still weak employment, I think that as most of us bulls are looking for, we're looking for weaker employment, so more unemployment. More people losing their jobs to let us know, which is not going to be good for obviously the economy, but that should let us still cut in December, because if they don't, that's a problem. Okay.
Man, back to the lows again.
There's Coinbase 9, Robinhood 8, SMR 8, SMCI 7. I mean, Mara, we've talked about Marvell, which we got, again, lucky to get out of a little bit of that on that news of SoftBank wanting to buy them out, right? That was $100 2 weeks ago. Shopify, a great company that nothing wrong with their quarter. Shopify had a great run at it.
Where's that?
They're down 5 right now. Everything else, man, Intel, forget about it. I'm glad I got rid of most of that up top. $35 right now. Nvidia still bleeding. The last time we bought was $175. That's coming into look right now as well. Micron's been great. Hey, man, if you guys thought that you missed an opportunity to buy some Donkey Kong, you didn't, man. DraftKings right now back down in again as well, as this continues to bleed off of a bad day on the weekend, just before the weekend as well, as that's come back in off of a $31 high. Apple, man, the best of the best, getting hit today as well. Downside, PayPal down, Boeing down, Meta down. There goes Meta, by the way. Here, get rid of that. Meta just cracked 6 bills. So there it goes now, finally, for the first time.
91.4 Bitcoin's.
Did this? Yeah, Bitcoin 91 in danger, right? 90 in danger. Meta, did Meta break? Is this the first time it broke 6 bills, or did we break it here?
No, it broke this morning.
My phone's in oh yeah, broke it this morning. Yeah, right this morning. Yes,
like
so
barely.
It's right to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the morning, so good. No.
Oh, no, bro,
no, this is last Monday. Last Friday.
No, never mind. That was last Friday.
Yeah, just Friday. I was going to say, because this is this morning. I'm like, what am I looking at? Yeah, right into there. So we did get down there and back up to 614, but there goes Meta, man, down another 2% there as well. So what an epic flush we're experiencing now in the overall market. It's not good. Alibaba, this is a name that's holding out that we could maybe go long on.
China.
I was looking for, the China play. I was looking for some love here in
China.
I was looking for some love to find something here, and maybe it's Alibaba up 2%. So that could be something there. Remember, the U.S. government just labeled these guys like I don't know, what was it? Something about, not that Bob is a terrorist group or anything, but that they were
aiding.
Yeah, it wasn't good, whatever it was.
The Chinese military in collecting data on Americans.
So that didn't go well with the current government.
Here's the thing that didn't get said in that. Like, you know, the U.S. government has deals with all of its big cloud providers. So how is it any different that China does the same thing? It's not. It's like, why would we think that they don't do that if the U.S. government does it? You better believe China does it. But anyways, someone just said in the chat, BMNR at $4 would be great. No, I'd stamp that too.
Correct.
I mean, if I'd buy it at $4 too. That's not happening. I mean, it's bad. I don't know if it's that bad. But okay, I think here comes a little bit. All right, I'm just going to go over to iBid because that's what I was just watching right here.
Maybe bought Baba down there. Oh, well.
Like, here comes a bit of a bid. Actually was looking at that Palantir trail, or not trail, but this little trend from the lows. It looks like this might actually start breaking trend here. I'd like to see a candle actually close above it, not just get in here, wick it, and then fail. See, like, wick top, kind of fail that top. I want to see it close above. You close above, then take a shot at the long. We're into power hour. There's probably like one last salvo. This is the kind of day where profit taking means buying into the close. So if I can see some kind of close above, then I get a little bit more excited, jump into something to the long side. Should probably adjust stop on LAC because that's not going to do anything. So I'm looking at Palantir in particular, along with, it was like Intel and then Mara. But there's the close above on the close of the prior bar above on PLTR. So I'll try nibbling into that one. Bitcoin's not bouncing that much, still under 92. Nothing's really bouncing that heavily. Palantir just looks pretty good, at least into the 170. Like, that was a brick wall. Well, we talked about this in the lesson of the day. Palantir 170 the last two sessions, like, look at it all morning long and then look at it on Friday, like that dip level. So I think 170 is kind of an obvious spot where support would turn into resistance. Alphabet's probably another one worth looking at as well because that was so strong.
All right, here we go. Trade almost in. If we break 407.50, I mean, I want to go with it, so I'm gonna give it a go if it does break it. I wanted to give it about $1, which makes sense. Maybe 406 break. Downside there. I don't expect this to be completely clean, but we'll see if it wants to go. So this is going to be a trade that I'm going to be on. So if you guys want to hop on with me, I'm going to do it. 407.50. It's a break of the 50 period. That kind of just happened right there now at 406.80. And then we just turned, I mean, I might have had the level dead on as we stopped at 407.50. So I don't know. I'm just laughing because it's like, instead of me looking long, I should have just looked short there, because if we had looked short, it'd be $1 short. Like, how easy, we just got $1 short off that level, right? Let's see how long it takes us to get $1 long if and when that breaks. But there's a little bit of a pullback on a fake break. So that's good to know that we just bounced completely off 406, which was going to be our out anyways. So here we go, man. 407.50. What's up, Adara?
Just be aware here, guys. Donald Trump talking about chips, saying that we, meaning the U.S., will have a big portion of the chip-making market within a year. He did say that the U.S. used to be a huge place for chip makers, but they lost the market to Taiwan, but they are going to be getting it back. So again, Trump touting the potential of the U.S. making the bulk of chips within the year. As we send you back to Neil and Sean. Again, guys, make sure to like and subscribe.
Yes, sir. And it's hilarious about that FIFA thing.
Here we go.
You got tickets, right?
No, I didn't.
I thought you, well, I know a couple of people that got tickets to the World Cup, and it's just like one that had a chance to see Team Canada, one of our friends, and didn't pull the trigger. He's like, yeah, the price is too much. I'm of the attitude now, when it comes to event tickets, just like, if it's a bucket list thing, just do it, because the worst case scenario is you get to the moment, you're like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to resell them. Or you get to decide to go, but you want to have the optionality to fill something in your bucket list.
All right, we're long.
And then, of course, there was the UK, there was actually a story today while we're talking about this, the UK mentioning that they were going to ban reselling of tickets above face value. There was a big downside move on StubHub and a couple of names after that. So maybe worth watching. I think that's crazy, but whatever.
All right, let's go. By the way, here we go. We'll just do this, and then we'll go to Adara in a second, because we are in. I don't know if it's going to work. Like I said, man, I mean, we are putting out some money into this trade, so we're hoping that it does wind up working. But we might have just broke through the top there and have to suffer through this, making a way down. So if this breaks 406 flat, then we're going to be gone. And we'll chalk up an L for this, but very comfortable, like knees weak, mom spaghetti. We're not weak at all.
Yeah, you don't want Rigetti.
Yeah, we don't want that. No, I'm just gonna say, like, we're not in a stressful spot right here. This is just to play a game, see if it can go. I mean, when I'm looking for $1.50 on this, it's definitely not gonna be, you know, like a full position or anything. This is just a quick little break to see if Tesla does want to go here. It's the power of power, man. We have 50 more minutes, and we got to look at those imbalances at some point too. See what those are doing right here. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, kind of an interesting comment here on trade from U.S. President Donald Trump. His voice is a bit raspy today, and so when people asked him about it, he said it's because he was yelling about trade. Now, when asked to clarify, he basically said that there is a country he refused to name that is trying to push back on their trade deal, and Trump had to be very forceful to ask them, I guess, to keep the terms as they were. Now, again, he did refuse to name this country multiple times, but either way, guys, keep an eye, long story short, on some potential trade turmoil. Trump apparently spent some time this weekend yelling at the leader of an unnamed country over tariffs. Back to you.
That's why I wasn't.
Oh, you're not plugged back in.
Yeah, I didn't plug myself.
Anyways, there it goes, man. We did spend a little bit of money there. We didn't get it out, but Tesla goes 75 cents. Breaks, sorry, 50 cents. There it is. Okay, I just took in 08. Sorry, 408 right there. 94, we got 95s, 97s. All right, so I got out at 10% there. All right, now I'm at 408.25 for another 10%, and then we had 15% at 409. So hopefully this trade will continue to go. We've been waiting pretty patiently to try to get this trade, obviously, and here we go, man. Like I said, I hope you guys are on it. I thought that we talked about that pretty decently, but who knows where it's going to go. Like, it's just bouncing around. It was just 75 cents in the money. Now it's pulling back in again. Now it's going back up. So you guys do whatever you want to do with it. I'm taking a little bit out there. My stop eventually is at that 406 breaking spot. So I'm willing to ride with this and see if the market wants to get back upside. But just also noticing right here that 2480 on 24,800 on the NASDAQ just got hit again. So we just tried to break that 50-period moving average. The reason why we're into Tesla is because we broke it, and we're trying to go higher. So here is on Tesla. There's the 50-period. We broke it. Now we're trying to give me those quarters, man. Like, I need these quarters. Yes, sir. All right. Nice move here as we get going to the upside. So we'll just wait. Just excited that it's actually working out, but not a big trade. Yeah, Kenvue. Texas judge declined to halt the company's planned shareholder payment amid ongoing litigation over Tylenol. It's getting Kenvue. Yeah, so here, I mean, here's the story. I'm not sure if Adara brought this to us or not. Oh, so there it is right there. Kenvue has given up its priority, and Kenvue shares were trading higher after judge declined to halt the company's payout plan. But I'm guessing right now that maybe there's been another decision made there. Kenvue starting to go a little lower there, because this is the news that I have. Kenvue right now not. Oh, here it is. They're reviewing. So here's the news story right here. It's actually on Benzinga, Adara. It's right here. I'm just going to pull it out for you y'all so you can see it. Adara will have this in a second. It's two judges' appeals court. So they're reviewing the dismissal of these lawsuits. So yeah, going down to the downside. So we'll get that all figured out. Adara will review this on the story, but right now Kenvue starting to view itself in a more negative light. But it had actually a really nice bounce. I actually didn't even realize this about Kenvue. That was 14 up to 17. Now back down again. All right, Adara, give us the goods here.
It looks like this is a story from this morning. So there's nothing new on this. I was wondering why I wasn't really seeing much talk about this on X. Basically what happened was, as of, I guess, a couple days ago, though, again, first trading day would have been today, the court rejecting this bid to block Kenvue's $398 million share payout in the Tylenol safety dispute. Now, apparently, we also, I guess the most recent update here, potentially as of 3 p.m., two judges on the appeals court are reviewing the dismissal here of private lawsuits over alleged Tylenol linked to autism. But again, it's going to have to do with some expert testimony. This was also mentioned during Sherry's morning note. So nothing here is brand new. And also none of this was really showing up heavily on my news blotter. So yeah, I mean, I'm still looking into it here, but it doesn't seem like much new. There's just Kenvue here with this potential renewed lawsuit with regards to Tylenol. And again, the evidence here has not changed. It would just be now the fact that we have the Trump administration trying to, or I guess making this case here with regards to Tylenol and potential links to birth defects and specifically autism, I guess concerns about autism. Back to you.
Yeah, it looks like we're coming right back in.
Yep.
Palantir broke trend, went to, this is how you know it's like we're weak. You break the trend line, go right to the first possible area of resistance and make a U-turn at exactly that price. So as we come back in here, like my stop is actually, see those little wicks in here, like 168.4. I'm just underneath that. So if it can bounce off that level, I'd reload. If it can't, then I'm just jumping out on a breakdown. Everything is just incredibly weak. I thought there was going to be some things that would pop higher to fade. I think I had mentioned.
Market might just get hit.
No, I'm only laughing because I think I had mentioned Intel is something that might pop. It literally didn't even try to pop. It just kept on making lows. Even as the market was bouncing there, this was actually still making lows. Mara was another one. It couldn't even get anywhere near 1150. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna stick with Palantir here. Only about 45 minutes to go. 35 till imbalances. Ooh, this is strong now. But it was Uber. Uber is a 1.1 million early look sell. Worth keeping an eye on. If you happen to be trading Uber, usually at 315, you don't see things that are like a million. But Uber is already 1.2 million. I double checked. There's no actual index action or anything specifically happening with Uber. So this is kind of like an out of nowhere imbalance on Uber. But yeah, Palantir looking pretty solid on this bounce. I did not get filled down around 40. So I'm going to see if I can't get 60s. If we fail the same level again, I'm just going to jump out. And this maybe isn't strong enough to get to 170 or at least into that range. So far, this trend break is still holding, at least on this name. But some of the weaker names, like Mara's not doing much of anything for a bounce. As I said, Intel's still literally at the low of the day, unfortunately. I feel like, I was typing in the chat, I feel like there's a lot of Bubba talk. What's the deal with, like I know you mean Bill, but like I feel like I missed something.
Oh, Bubba, yeah. Well, that is.
I was very much unplugged this weekend. Did a bunch of like.
No, there was apparently videos of Trump and Bubba doing certain things. So.
Okay, that explains a lot in the chat.
I'll leave that.
Another chat that I'm in. Okay, that actually explains a lot.
Yeah. So apparently there was something about that, and then it's Putin's. I think it's the one guy's brother there. I don't know if we should say names or anything like that, but anyways, that's what it's about.
I was very much disconnected this weekend.
Yeah. There's something.
Yeah.
I mean, me
I was
too.
unplugged.
But that was that was all over the place. Yeah, just be careful with that. What you're talking about there.
Okay.
So, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter.
No, I legitimately did.
Yeah, I think that's what people are talking. That is what people are talking about for sure. So, all right. I mean, Bitcoin, Tesla did make a move back through 406. We stopped out of, again, we held 25%, bought more back as it went back through 406. Got some out at 406.75, which is where we're at right now. So we have half the position on right now at 406.08. But we are just lucky enough to average that back in as it did break 406, and then it stopped, and then I just got right back in as it broke back up, thinking that might have been the spot. But yeah, not to be the way right here for the NASDAQ. As yeah, again, like instead of trying to catch bottoms, and I think this is what I do poorly, is trying to catch a bottom when the bottom doesn't exist. We keep on bouncing off this 50-period moving average here on the NASDAQ. So I don't know why I'm getting so excited to potentially see something here on the upside. It just doesn't look like it's trying to go through at all. So we'll hold this. Maybe it goes, but got one in on this. Let's see if Tesla wants to finally take out the top. Nothing's even hitting my scanner right now. Like I told you, I reset it, and this is what's happening now. Tesla and Alibaba. So like I'm not really getting any love here for any other trade ideas other than, oh no, now this is completely froze. I can't move this. Eventually it will move. But okay, here it goes. There goes Tesla news. I don't know. No, probably not. The NASDAQ finally starting to go upside right now. So we'll put this $1.40 in our pipe and smoke it. And we actually have an emoji for that. Joe. There it is. All right. Spark it up now right there. And we also have this one. This is Joe's favorite, if I can find it. Where's my weed Batman going through there? I don't know about what's up, Joe? Yeah. We got that over there. But I'm going to have to do something with this e-signal. I think my computer must be a little low on said RAM right here, as I cannot change this. But there it goes right now. Tesla, nice upside play. I apologize. I'll get rid of this scanner. We just got out at 407.50 there, a little piece. So nice upside play for now in Tesla. Hopefully long-lasted, but most likely short-lived, as it looks like it's still going the other way.
Oh goodness! Like You know what, this time I'm going to listen to myself. If we're trending down all day, it looked like we're out to press through 170, but I'm not going to let this lose that same prior resistance level. Just take the scalp trade that's there. And if it ends up being like 168.6 and the best I can do is 69.5 and this reverts back to low, I can live with that. Like it'll be literally like the first, I think this is the only long trade I've had today.
I haven't had, I didn't have any long trades. Oh, yeah, Tesla's my first.
Actually, yeah, this is the first. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't think that's ever happened, to be honest. Like, it's 320, and that's the first long trade I've taken all day long. That's crazy. But anyways, just enough selling and just barely enough selling. And I don't know. There's a chance that maybe this gets to 170, but I'm going to back off that. I actually wanted to pull up Uber. And I'll look back at this name because this is not reacting right now. Like if they're not, nobody's front running this million sell on Uber. By the way, that's 10% of the day's volume on Uber. Uber only does like 11, it's only done 11 million shares. That's a pretty decent size number. So I want to have this on radar. If I see that grow before 350, like this imbalance, I mean, if I see this grow, then I'm very likely to just punch short and just use this local high. And if it's broken that, then maybe use that one. But that's what I'm going to look at now, Uber. Kind of take what you can get on any bounce long and, you know, scalp it, do whatever you can. It was a decent trend break, so thank you guys for pointing out that Palantir was trying to break. Warrior Arun in the chat says Lilly is strong. It is, but it's actually back to red, believe it or not. So as the market bounced, I guess that makes some sense. Lilly is moving down a little bit. I can deal with that. Like if tech is making a little bit of bounce, Qs are coming back, you probably have the things like Eli Lilly and like J&J we were talking about before. They're going to start to find a little bit of weakness. But my eyes are going to be on Uber. I'm just going to look at that imbalance, see if Uber gives a short, maybe VWAP, maybe in here, the closer we get to 350. And I should probably just, at some point, I'll just bid out. I have LAC at VWAP. My stop is at VWAP, but I should probably move that. This isn't going anywhere. LAC is actually up 7%, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, Lithium America's up on the session, but much like everything else, if you weren't long in the first 15 minutes, then the long was wrong. Like that's about as long as it was for most stocks. Tesla would be an example of something that was a little bit different, but I should just get out of this. It's not moving that much anyways.
No, we just put on some more shares there at 406, but not like, so I just have back half the position. That's it. Like we got out of half on the way up, and our best out 407.50. Like thought it had a chance to go, so we wanted to hold half, and then we just reloaded to put on exactly half. We had about 40% left, and now we'll put back. Okay, there it is. It took some out at 50s there, and now we'll start to go back up to. We just reloaded at those O's. We go O's to 50, and I'm just trying to do that whole scalping situation because my stop is 405 half. So if we break 405 half, which is right there, which is where we last stopped, then we will get out. And I'm sitting at 406.75 for another fill, and then hopefully we will be able just to go from there and watch this name continue to climb back up. I mean, someone just said in the chat, would you buy CRM there for the long haul? I mean, not really, no. I mean, I just, like there's key levels that all these stocks are at. If you're talking about long-term trades, like I don't know how long-term is for most people, but I just want to buy great quality companies that are potentially just getting hit like over the last couple weeks due to, again, the overvaluation of what people feel is overvalue of some of these stocks, PEs coming back in, things like that. CRM's really been getting hit like basically this whole year. When you're this far away from the 200 period, it's definitely broken, and it just needs to have a couple better quarters underneath its belt. And obviously, if that can happen, then I'll be there and be pretty happy. This is a name that I hold in my account, and I think that this is getting near good spots to start dip buying. But to say that this is the level that we push, I don't think so. It's not just the earnings weren't great there for CRM, which I thought CRM maybe reported early. I'm gonna have to find out what their date looks like right now for CRM. But yeah, right into there, 235 might be a good spot. The low we got there back in May of 24 was 220, and that was looks like a pretty epic collapse there. So I would say that, yeah, you're getting close to right now. You might want to sniff a little bit of CRM there. But there it comes right now. Let's go.
Yay, yay,
We're now $1.50, Neil, in the money. So here we go. This trade was 50 cents worth of risk. We told you where our stop was 505.50. So right now this is $1.50. So 170 cents in for 60 cents worth of risk. So there it is again. We go like this, and we go props up to people trading here with Tesla. But I'm getting more out. You just saw that. Let's go back over to the desk.
Yeah, Trump just concluded his press conference here with regards to FIFA. He was asked some questions. I mentioned earlier that he did talk a little bit about trade and specifically about his goal to have more than half of than half of global chip making happen in the U.S. He mentioned that earlier. He also mentioned basically near the close that, not near the close, near the end of this conference, that he's not happy with Mexico with regards to trade, specifically because he doesn't believe they're doing enough to, I guess, stop fentanyl. LMT moving a little bit as well. Trump did speak on these fighter jets being sent to certain countries in the Middle East. So LMT moving higher again, and Mexico being mentioned by Trump with regards to trade. QQQ, it's just the market on watch here again. Trump is no longer speaking. Back to you.
Come on.
Thanks, Adara. Okay, so IBIT's actually breaking trend from VWAP. There it is. I'm just going to redraw it. It just broke the trend line. So like the Palantir trade, ideally you'd be in this one at 52.05 or 06 on IBIT, but I'm going to try and weasel a little bit in here and then see if I can't pick it back up in the low 52 range. Again, just looking for things that are breaking the actual trend line. And if they do, hop in, hop out. Prior bar low is the out, so I'll get my stop in. And it's very similar to Palantir. Like there's Palantir. Actually, Palantir is still heading higher. Looks like it'll get that 170, but it wasn't a distinct trend line from VWAP. It was this trend line that broke, but a similar thing happening on Bitcoin or IBIT. I'll just call it IBIT because that's what I'm trading. Bitcoin bouncing essentially 92, but it's this from the volume weighted average price, which I'm looking at. When it made that third contact, there's your fourth, and it's actually breaking this time. So we're going to look for maybe the last thing before we get the end of the day. Just to note that Uber isn't moving, so it's not growing, so not really that exciting to me anymore. If it had grown, I would have looked for the short trade, but as you can see, it was 1.1 million before, it's 1.1 million now, and it might not be that interesting at the close on Uber. That's actually a stock. It's on my maybe list on the daily, Uber, for things that I think could, like it's on the verge of breaking down, and then you might want to stink bid it. Kind of thinking about the 80 level here, like that's well underneath that's probably not until after the next time they report. But this feels like one, we're going to reject $100, like it's got some kind of a capitulation or breakdown bottom, or maybe you get something like the $80 on the back of my mind. And then you mentioned Shopify, and all of a sudden,
yeah, I like Shopify.
Shopify is one move away from the 200 period moving average. That could be something as well.
Just out another piece there of Tesla as it broke through 407 again, so right there, 407. We actually wound up getting 407.10 as it was coming back in, getting a little nervous about that trade, of course. Here it comes right back upside again. So there it is. If you don't believe me, take it out now for the dollar. It's $1 in the money now. I'm going to see if there is some get up to this name. We talked about it. We do have the imbalances coming through. Neil just talked briefly about those, and we're just going to have to wait. That's 350. The imbalances will come out, right? And then once we do that, then we'll see if there's some good news there. Yeah, I don't like all that talk like about Mexico and all that. Like these should be friendly fire, man, not negativity.
Like strikes in Mexico? Like what are we talking?
Yeah, you don't want to. Like if he ever said like, oh, well, you know, I don't mind striking Canada for something, like, come on. I mean, this is not peaceful talk, but so be it. I mean, what's happening in Venezuela and all that, we've all seen some of those videos of the Department of War. So it does, you've already talked about Uber. Uber just showed up on my scanner, so that's why I was going to call it up. SoFi, again, I think maybe one more day of pain to the downside, and then I think I'll step in and buy some SoFi possibly tomorrow, just in case this trade continues to go a little bit lower. What about picking up SoFi at $25, $25.50 or so tomorrow? That would be a good trade. Tomorrow's trade today, SoFi. I like that name. Robinhood, maybe near that $100 mark. Meta's already broke through again, but some other names, man. Kenvue on that story there, you know, could be getting some volume into it, which we've just seen. Nice little volume extension from $17 down to $16. That really extended that move down there with volume. So we really like that one. And as Trump gets more and more like, wishy-washy about these other countries. Like, I don't think Boeing is going to be that great anymore either. Let's wait to see how far Boeing can fall down. That was just $230. I put some money in here at 200, but that was just 230 straight falling now. Boeing again. These guys aren't even making money. So I don't know if this is going to be.
I am stink bidding that stock.
Yeah, this is going to be another one potentially that might be able to find a level. But this is why we sort of started here in and around 200, right into here. Again, the 200 period moving average is right there. But this one dips down again. Boeing could be where is Boeing going? It looks a lot lower. So yeah, not feeling the greatest about that most recent position. But I like the BABA one that we put on. So. All right, here we go. Right now, for everybody interested, for me, it's just Tesla. And for everybody else, let's go find out what Adara's up to.
Yeah, let's talk here about these earnings moves tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, actually a pretty exciting day for earnings. We'll get Klarna before the bell. This is, I believe, their first report since their IPO. We'll also get some Chinese ADRs, including PDD and Baidu and Home Depot. If you want to learn more about these expected moves, check out this infographic just posted on X at TTV Research. This will give you the expected move for all of these earnings names that are reporting before the bell. I already have a Home Depot earnings infographic out, and there's going to be one on PDD, Baidu, and Futu coming out very soon. Back to you.
For Sebastian in the chat, I said Alibaba was Boeing.
Boeing. Yeah.
I do this. That is the one mistake I make more than any other one. I'll be looking at a Boeing chart and I will just say Alibaba for some reason. It makes no sense to me. So most of the time, if it doesn't make sense, I was probably talking about Boeing when I said BABA, and if it does make sense, I was talking about BABA. No, this is one that I'm actually, I decided when it broke the 200 period moving average, I threw a stink bid. I believe, memory serves, because it was a couple of weeks, it was a week and a half ago, memory serves it was around 180 bucks. Because that was a big key level. I just kind of feel like the worst has sort of come in for Boeing, and I exited, like I used to own this for a long period of time, and I exited almost all of it. I just want to kind of build back into some non-techie things. So that was one of them, kind of felt like it made a bottom. I don't know, just going to start into it. But with only 30 minutes to go to the end of the day, we'll see. As I said, the second long trade of the day for myself is going to be right here. IBIT is not breaking away. Like, here's the biggest difference. Like Palantir, when it broke the trend line, like it immediately showed that support, but it had some bounce moves. You're not really seeing that happen over here in IBIT, at least not right now. Like it's consolidating, but in the wrong way. Like they're all red candles. So I'm gonna stop out under here, give back some of what we made on Palantir. But again, if you're looking for the long, I think you gotta pick your spot and you have to adhere to your stop, right? Like there's no point taking two shots at it and then being, you know, like red overall. I'm not going to try and fight this one if it's going to continue down. We're going to continue down. Bitcoin, you know, we've looked at this chart a million times, but there's nothing that great about where we're at. Like, sure, you're at a major support level in Bitcoin. That'd be a good place for like a temporary bounce or some little bit, you know, a little bit of something off the lows here. But if we break underneath 90, we can all see what that looks like technically. Like, you don't have to be a chartered market technician to be able to figure out that if this area breaks, why wouldn't we get down here? I don't know. That's the way. That's where my mind is at. Like, I might try this long here, but I'm not buying Bitcoin again until we see the 70s or something distinct that shows me we're still on that trend line, which would not be today, by the way.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right about that with Bitcoin. I want to kind of stay away from that 407.50 we just got again, right there. So yeah, the market could be on bleed zone here into the close again right now. All right, I just want to go over just really quickly here. These are these imbalances that Neil and I keep on mentioning here. We have CRCL with a bid, so I mean. That seems to be a little strange to me.
It showed up on Friday as a bid too, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big one. Yeah, just again, this is just the ETF. Actually. So again, if you're looking for some kind of an ETF to trade off of, this could be one, and it is, of course, CRCL. So watch out for that if you are interested in, you know, potentially a triple levered ETF. I think it's tripled. Hold on a second. SOXL. doubled or tripled anyways in the semiconductor 3 times. Yeah, so this would be the 3 times long. So you can see it's getting crushed today. So someone wants to come in and buy that, it looks like. Nike with a sell, that just showed up right now as well. So again, as we are on to the week of earnings, and Dare just did great there with Klarna. That should be an exciting one tomorrow. But some of these names there, buys and sells into the close. So this is government bonds, so we're not worried about SGOV at all. That's not going to be anything. That's just people looking into it. And then it's this BMNR would be the one that I think there's been some, some trades, especially, by traders in BMNR. Well, it's only $30. It does a lot of volume. This would be an interesting name to highlight into the close, BMNR. So
yeah,
we'll have to
watch. What we're talking about is at real trading, there's a decent chance that might be, it's a guess, but it might be probably the top stock in the last month.
I think it's a top
there's nothing
AMEX.
else.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in the AMEX that I think could be giving those types of moves. As we were mentioning on Friday, like CRCL.
Well, SPY, I mean, people could be trading SPY.
It could, yeah, but there's only a couple of things. Either it's the SPY or it's like,
yep.
I mean, you could make an argument for like GL, I suppose you could make an argument for GLD, but I don't think that's moved enough. So my guess is just pure volatility-wise, the moves are so gigantic. Like, okay, like here's the example. Like IBIT, I got 52.08 as my price. My stop was just underneath 90, so it's like a 20-cent move in there for, it's not much, it's a $50 stock. And then you look at from top to bottom, you're 54 to about 52, just ballparking it, so call it a couple of percentage points. BMNR has moved 34.5 to 30, right? So it's moved twice as much and it's less expensive. So this has been, I don't even know why I don't look at it. I bet you the locates are actually not even expensive either on BMNR. Like the next time we're thinking crypto short, I'm not going to do MARA. I should be looking at BMNR because ETH is also the same thing. Like we're underneath 3,000, and ETH is worse than Bitcoin. So if you think Bitcoin's ever a short, it does make sense to maybe jump to something that's a little bit new in this particular case. So only about 15 minutes to go to the imbalances. I see people talking about some relative names. BP. The stock goes SSR, or short sell restricted, meaning the uptick rule is in effect. It doesn't mean you can't short the stock. It means that you can't hit the bid to go short unless the last print was green, like an uptick. And that's at 10%. So if a stock hits 10%, then that day and the next day it's SSR. Day trader, what up to you? Guess which? Ooh.
Yeah, I read that one.
Oh, shoot.
Still holding it. Hey, man, I mean, you're never wrong until you sell, but at the same time, I mean, holding a loss.
I mean, Joe had suggested selling some covered calls against it if that's something that...
I mean, the thing is today, I would just say if you don't have to get out, I mean, we talked about this earlier, it's always nice to have stops in place in the first place, and I know sometimes that's tough to do. But, today is, in my opinion, not the day to be panicking and covering any of these big hits. But that's just, it's not financial advice to anybody else's positions, just myself. Like, I find that when I panic is when you don't make the right decisions. The market's getting crushed today. Like selling Tesla down here at 406, like you may get a bounce, on this name specifically. And I think if you're going to talk about getting bounces, I really like it. And I'm sorry about that, day trader. I hate that happens. But I mean, I'm sure you've had winners. I don't know about similarly, but hopefully similarly to some positions like that. But Google has, if there's going to be a name that has a pedigree to bounce back, I mean, I think you're in the right one. I think Google should be good to go, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. I don't, it's easy for me to say when I'm not in that kind of a trade. So look, for me, I've probably lost that much on Google too on the way down right here. But my plan is I don't look at those positions in my long-term account. I was talking about this with Joe.
It's not a swing,
yeah, it's not like I'm not trying. I don't need that capital for right now. Yeah, there it is. Still got 400. Okay, so I think you're similar to what I'm talking about there then, where it's not the complete end of the world on this.
I see.
But yeah, it does suck to experience stuff like that, so I'm sorry to hear that. But
no, it's, when you're DCing into something sometimes. But, you've got powder right there, so, make sure. I do think Joe had some sound advice. The whole, you can always sell calls against in the time being. For anyone that's, look, I know you can hear that, the drilling noise. So it's not anything that's happening behind us. You can't see the entire production, where essentially everything that makes the show work sits behind us or in front of us, but where you guys don't see. They're just doing some stuff over there. They just recently moved back. So that's the drilling you hear, of course. It was like a second ago where it hit that like perfectly horrible pitch. Like that, you know, there's always like that one pitch, it just gets high enough where you're like, yeah, that was nice.
It's a little annoying.
But it's, what are you going to do? We're drilling to the lows of the day again, because that's what the NASDAQ, everything is fine, Roger, everything is safe. But we're drilling right back into the lows. That is the cues. Right back heading into the lows. Like I just got out of IBIT, so this afternoon took the first 2 longs of the day for myself. Palantir worked, and IBIT did not, and I guess that par for the course because shorts should have been better anyways, right? So you made the money back from the morning shorting everything, and then try to go long, and it fails. But we're not breaking the absolute low of the day here. Day Trader Lay with another super chat. If Alphabet passes 295 anytime this week, you'll super chat. At any point, if it passes 295 this week, hey, you don't have to do that. We'll all be happy if 295 gets hit.
Yeah, but I think he'll be super happy.
Oh, you'll be ecstatic. Trust me, we're all cheering for you. Nobody actually, so that I know of, I don't think anybody really cheers for the market to go down. You can short things as a day trader and make a little bet that the stock's going to go down, but who actually cheers that overall the market's going down? Unless you happen to have a bid that you just want to get filled in your long term. So we're cheering for you, absolutely. Let's be real. I don't know that we got to, 95 didn't cross this morning, Tasia. I think the high was actually 94s. So we need to break Friday's high. Oh, no, sorry, that's not Friday. That's like Wednesday or something like that. But speaking of Wednesday, that's going to be a big deal when Nvidia.
Oh, well,
that's going to be what determines a lot of what happens this week. And Jimmy, how do we think Tom Lee is feeling right now? Like he's still rich.
Yeah, he got everybody else's money. He doesn't care.
But the thing about it is, like, trust me, like when we look at our portfolios when things are down 8% from the highs, we'll probably, I don't care how much he's down percentage-wise, it's just like at a certain level. He's good.
He's not down anything percentage-wise, that guy. He just took everyone else's money, and that's that, man.
I don't know. Look, I don't.
I don't know if he.
I don't know. That's the thing. I actually have no idea. I know he backs the stuff. I have no idea how much of his personal wealth is in the MNR, if any. I couldn't even answer that question for you. I would imagine if he does have it in there, then it can't be that great.
No, I'd say he has 0 in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So yeah, BMNR dead. Okay, Google, Uber. I mean, Uber now just keeps on hitting. That's why I don't. It must be at VWAP or something, right? Oh, I guess maybe just this little breakout right there of Uber. So Uber, yeah, up green. We talked a little bit about that, but yeah, I didn't realize Uber was on this kind of a run, and maybe I should have looked at that a little bit earlier as we just hold on to this stupid Tesla trade. That looks like right now it's going to break 405 right now to the downside. So here it is right now looking to break through 405, then we're gone. No more trying this, man. I have no idea where these imbalances are coming. Now they're only 8 minutes away, so danger among us here with Tesla for sure. I didn't even look at the imbalances here.
Nike's now 1.8.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it wasn't 1.8 when we saw it. This MIR wasn't on here before, so that would be another one there, but that's a bid. I'd say it's pretty mixed. Like, I'm not getting any feels from this. I'm just getting feels from the market, and obviously the feels aren't that great, down 1.26. The market really hasn't done anything in a half hour. I think Neil and I have been doing good just to sort of ignore some of the noise here, but all right, so that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, good pun.
Let's go back. What did I say? I didn't mean to
ignore some of the noise. Yeah. The drilling was going on.
Oh, the drilling. Oh, that's not even what I meant. Yeah, I meant in the NASDAQ here, but yeah, that was a good one.
It does work.
There as the noise has been a factor here today. Okay, let's go back. Are we going to Adara?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's go.
We had some commentary coming from Fed's Waller, and he's actually a little bit more dovish than a lot of the Feds we've seen as of late. He actually says that there's really no economic data, including that jobs data we're going to be getting on Thursday, that he believes will dissuade him from the idea that we need another rate cut. So again, Fed's Waller making it pretty clear that it's very unlikely any data is going to make him think that another rate cut isn't in order. So he's very much in the camp of another rate cut, specifically saying the reason for that cut would be weakness in the labor market. This is a refrain we've heard before, though some Fed members as of late within the last couple of weeks are actually expressing some skepticism about the idea that the labor market is in such a state that it would warrant a rate cut on its own, specifically with inflation concerns being measured as well. I do have to mention as well, I'm seeing some comments here from United Airlines. Company announcing that their regular schedule has been resumed and they are now operating at full capacity. We know capacity was reduced due to the government shutdown, which ended last week. Back to you.
Thank you, as always, Adara. So Nike is on this at 1.8 million to the sell side. So Uber's
Adara.
gone, Nike's there, so I'm going to pay attention to that. And again, there's the super chat again from Daytrader LA.
You're doing so good there.
Google passes 295 anytime. That's the super chat from before, and we're all, trust me, we're all.
Yeah, we want that to happen.
Like there's, you know, like we're all going to be happy if we see that happen for you, Daytrader LA. You don't have to. We appreciate super chats. You don't have to do that. What we always ask is just pay it forward. Like hit the like, hit the subscribe, pass the show on to all of your friends. And anybody that might be interested in the markets, right? Like that's what it's all about here. So with 5 minutes to go until potentially we get the imbalances. Ooh, someone else just said Palantir. No, not. Nope, not going to do it. My first thought was, what if Palantir could go right back to the level that the dip buy was good? No, not at 345. I think getting one long to work today is enough for me. Because the market's been going down. Daytrader like 20 memberships.
There we go.
A second ago was just like, hey, we appreciate it, you don't have to, and then you drop 20 memberships on everybody. So grab them, and a reminder for everybody that does get a membership or is interested in getting a membership, there is a little something. There is the morning note. So the morning note from Sharif. Today, Alphabet was a big story you guys can see here. Well, how many pages is this thing?
I don't know.
13 pages long today. I just checked. Thank you, Google. Nvidia, of course, that story. Bitcoin. And then it gives you a rundown of what every major story is, support and resistance levels, in depth. And it's very, very well sort of researched. Kind of gives you a place to start. You know, you can start with us, then you have a reference material to go with as well. For lack of a better term, I couldn't think of a better way, like reference material. That's good. What are we in school right now? No, but that's what you can get with the membership. So thank you very much, Daytrader LA. We appreciate you.
Let's go.
For sure.
Yeah, good one there.
Reference material.
I really hope that you can get that trade going for yourself. So let's go. Okay, here we go, man. We're starting to go now. $1.50 in the money on Tesla. Again, we just bought off that 405. So here it goes now, 407 upside. So here's $2. Cash register there, the most gangster cash register you've ever seen. But there it is right there. It's starting to go upside now for Tesla. Let's just hold, man. Maybe we get to the 200 period of 410. Let's put an offer around 408.50. We'll see if we can get some shares out there, and then we'll go to 409.50, put some more shares there, and with only 4 minutes to go, we can have a quick little look at where this market goes. Well, someone's coming in, so we have to look at this because BMNR, again, is starting to go upside right now. There is an imbalance there on BMNR, so I wanted to check out what that was doing right now. It's a 1.66 million sell right now. So I'm going to write this down and just to see what BMNR winds up doing right now. And that's, of course, at 345. So I just want to see this. There's BMNR right here, sell side. So let's just give an idea to what may happen here into the close for BMNR. And by the way, there's $2 now, so let's go Tesla back up to the upside here as we continue to try to hold this 405 bid. So it looks like it's doing that. We did take a shot on this for sure. So far so good here. I've only traded 4 names today. Apple, which was in and out quickly there early, like really quick at 470, which turns out to be such a good short, but it did kick me out there and we wound up losing 50 cents. We only had to hold 50 more cents on that one. The Palantir short was pretty good. Obviously, this is my #1 stock there. The TQs, we talked about that short and wrong there before being nicely right on the short eventually. And then the trade that you guys are all seeing me in right now is Tesla, of course. So we have to watch out to see where that one now goes. But that's it. Oh, wow. Tesla, did I just get that? Did I just get 408.50s there? No, close. I'm going to take a piece out right now, man. There it is, 408. Neil, $3. Obviously, LAC is not going to go $3, but at least this is going up. I haven't looked at LAC, literally at 1% of the price. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening here. But so far, so good now, man. We'll see if we can go $3 right here on Tesla. Nice trade. Back up there to the upside, man. There goes Tesla. After all this, we'll be green on it, so that's good. But we still have 2 more minutes until this imbalance.
Well, LAC is a trade from this morning. I only traded 2 things this afternoon. The only things I traded this afternoon were IBIT and Palantir. IBIT didn't work, Palantir did. 2 minutes till the imbalances. I will just punch out. I'll probably just punch out of LAC before it gets to the volume weighted average price. That said, it's Nike that's going to be on my mind. Still a 1 point. It's not growing, but they're holding the size here on Nike. And overall, like I said, this is a decent It's a decent chunk of the day's volume at 11.5 million in volume, and it's at 1.7 to the sell side. So that's more than 10%, and it's exactly at VWAP. So if I see that come out at or bigger, I'm just gonna throw a stop effectively like right here at like 63.10 or just above 63.10. And as long as this comes out at, well, I mean, I want it to be bigger than the 1.7. If it comes out, this is a number I can show anybody. If it comes out that size, not that big of a deal. But if it comes out bigger than 2 million, punch short, and my stop is already in. BMNR has now grown to 1 million shares as well, so that should be worth pulling up there. Strongly suspect that that has been a big mover the last couple of days, at least a couple of times in the last few weeks for the imbalance trade. So 1 million there, 1.7 on Nike. Those will be the things that I'm looking at. Hey, the market finally catches a bid. Profit taking in this case, as we said, profit taking would mean people buying going into the close. Doesn't mean I think we're out of the water. The NASDAQ still 1% to the downside. Same thing with the ES. Bit of a relief rally happening here. But I'm looking at Nike, maybe BMNR, although I'm guessing we had to pay for locate, so probably just Nike.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Don't even have those.
Yeah, here we go with only just a couple seconds left. I mean, we got it now on Tesla. 350 in the money as we continue to go now. So that's going to be just obviously for me and hopefully for you guys, a banger trade. As like Neil just said, we haven't given you much this afternoon, but we did give you Tesla. And there it goes now. Nvidia with a big buy here to end the day. So that's really nice again as well. So that's a good trade coming through. Cisco, CRCL still there. Rigetti with a sell. There's not too much size on these sells right now, just Nvidia. I don't know what KDP is, but that's there as well. It looks like it's just Nvidia for the win right now. JP Morgan with a small buy as well. But there it goes, man. Tesla, 350 in the money. We did it, everybody. So that's a props trade right there. Props up to all you guys who have this trade on Tesla. 409, there it is now, $4. Let's take a piece out on this one if we can. We're still waiting for 409.50, but there it goes, man. 405 to 409. We did it again. Like after putting out these kind of trades early, here's another $4 winner right there for Tesla. So right back up to the upside. With only 10 minutes to go, it's IBKR and something else tonight, Klarna tomorrow.
Actually, IBKR, I thought it was tomorrow morning.
Is it tomorrow morning? Adara sent us IBKR.
IBKR, it usually reports after the bell, and they are not on my list at all. So I'll look into that, but I've not seen that anywhere. Okay, yeah, maybe they're already out. We don't have much.
It's literally, I think it's like trip.com.
Anything. Yeah, maybe it's nothing. I thought IBKR, but might not be right. Yeah.
Trip.com is the one that's reporting, and they don't even, I don't know. It does like 1 million shares in volume. I'm not even sure that one's going to be that big of a move, but you never know. You always lock and load, but there's so much to go over, whether it's retail earnings that are coming up later in the week, which is something I like to do. When there's not a heck of a lot in terms of crazy earnings, that's the perfect time that you get to actually go over, hey, this is what happened in the stock we can look at tomorrow, or we can set up what's happening for earnings later on in the week. Adara?
Sorry, I just want to confirm here. Yeah, IBKR already reported actually a month ago, yesterday, October 16th, 2025. I pulled up the filing myself.
All right, good. IBKR. It would be nice if they reported tomorrow. It might help like some of these Robin Hoods and all that stuff.
Nothing
right there. Maybe
Bitcoin bounce is the only thing that's helping them. ETH is back above 3K at least. ETH took it on the chin more than a little bit, which I could just show you guys Ethereum for it. Doesn't really matter. ETHA with a nice bounce off of the lows. This is a little more liquidity, same chart, but a little bit of a bounce off the lows. Not even that much. That's the thing. Like nobody, I don't think anybody's celebrating when Bitcoin barely holds on to 92 and ETH barely holds on to 90 or 3,000. I very much feel the same. Like I still feel the exact same way. Like if this is all we get, a small, slight bounce. Like this is a 15-minute. Like you just kind of go into this channel and then we just sit in it at the lows. That's not good. It's still bad. I'd come in with the same bias tomorrow unless proven otherwise, that we are testing this with a potential of breaking. So the thing is, like if you break down, I feel like it's a bigger deal if you break down than if you bounce. So if you lean short, I think you have more upside going into tomorrow, but you never know. We could gap up, come in tomorrow, and Bitcoin's at 95. It's entirely possible. But if we're down here, then I'm still thinking short.
Yeah, it should be around that 95 level. I think tomorrow we should get a bounce back. Okay, so Tesla again, like we did it. So shout out to Brandon. Oops, we did it again. You are correct. We did do it again. And I hope that you guys did it with me there. As I'll take another piece out breaking through 408, but we got a bunch of outs there as the market just gave it up to 409. So like we wanted 450. We just sat there in front of that 409.50 and we didn't get it. So we'll tap out right now. We still have a little piece left, probably about 10%. No, a little more, about 15% left here on Tesla. As yeah, man, we were buying these bottoms, and there it goes, right back up there to the upside on a nice little relief rally into the close. That BM&R did not do a whole heck of a lot. It went up with the market, but then stopped right there. So I wasn't able to really identify too much of a trade there. Was trying to hope to see something, but didn't really. It did evaporate from the imbalance. So definitely some funny stuff going on there, but yeah, nothing to worry about because the market did move up and now the market's moving back in. So money made on that one. And again, a big thank you for all those super chats that came through Day Trader LA. It means a lot to us. Thank you for continuously supporting the show as well. Those are $5 a membership, and again, basically just get you that Sharif note, which is kind of cool, and then all the ability to do those cool emojis like Brandon did when he was talking about Britney Spears there with me. But so far so good here. Tesla, nice move into the close and no earnings, as we said. TCOM, trip.com tonight. I'm looking for some trips. Stink bid on. Yeah, Neil means bid, not bit. There, as we're bidding it, Sebastian, on PayPal. We could talk about that. Are we going over to Neil, I believe, right now?
Well, whether you're stink bidding or maybe just trading in general, for too long, when doing so, it meant risking your own money or just not having enough to start. And that fear of losing kept a lot of traders on the sidelines. That's now changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital, while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fear, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is the revolution of limited risk trading, powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code in front of you and get 10% off your first evaluation.
And thank you, Neil. And by the way, right there it goes. It's your face slapper. It's a hot dog kind of a day. You like glizzies? You like hot dogs? He loves hot dogs, okay. There it is right there, so you'll love this trade right there. $4 and change right there as we fire off the cannons one more time as we come crashing in on the plane here this afternoon. Good trading there for Tesla, nicely done. Back up to the upside. We were a little patient with that one, but we do only have a little piece left. We'll take it out there. Our bid filled. 409.50. So as it continues to go back there to the upside, yeah, now everybody wants those glizzies. Hopefully take a couple of your profits today and do that. But here we go, 409. We're going to get out right now. There it is, bang. Oh, no, we still have one a little bit left. There it is, yes, sir. So one more time, it's a face slap right there for Tesla. 405 to 409 there right at the end of the day just to top it off. So far, so good here. As we'll just continue to hope that tomorrow, Neil, is a better day.
Well, I mean, for the overall market, we can hope it's a better day. But
trading, I don't know about.
This is the thing about trading. You could have shorted today. Like, keep that in mind. Like some longs at the end, a great one on Tesla, but ultimately, most of the day, probably money was made shorting.
Oh yeah, my biggest.
Which is for trading. Yeah, exactly. Like I had 2 longs all day, and it was all the shorts that made me green today, not longs. That being said, we do have a lot to cover. We're gonna have Michael Loss coming back in because I want to hear his thoughts. And we talked a little about energy today, and that was one of the things I was surprised didn't hold up better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it didn't. But it's just day one, so we have a lot to cover for sure. And of course, thank you so much for the super chats and the memberships as well. And for those that were fortunate enough to get that membership, make sure you check out that morning note. You know, you always want to. You don't want to trade blind. There's no need to. That's why you're here. We have news all day long. We've got the reports in the morning, and that's what it's going to be all about here. Nothing really crazy on, like I said, on those imbalances at the end. Nike didn't come out as anything, so obviously didn't trade it. And Nvidia has also paired off. So nothing crazy in the last couple of minutes. I'm going to mosey on up to the desk.
Yeah, get over there.
So we can, and I want to say like KC, to make it clear, like the money, I got back green because of shorts, not because of the long at the end of the day. Like I was red in the first 20 or 30 minutes of the day, but then you saw like every single short that you had after like lunchtime or during that time was obviously good to stick with. So majority of the day was about the short, and you just have to be able to do that when the market's the way that it is right now because it's built a little differently, unfortunately. recently.
All right, yeah, the market is a wild one. Okay, so nice outs there, and yeah, always nice, man. I hope everybody else is obviously green out there as well. But I want to see, did Roblox wind up holding that 100 mark? I think this could be a trade for tomorrow as well. Let's wait to see what happens with Roblox. I think that people are going to have FOMO tomorrow. I feel like the market's going to be up early tomorrow, and then maybe we'll hit it to the downside as more traders, worry that maybe they didn't get that bottom there, and now worry for buying potentially ill-advised buys tomorrow, but I could see that happening for sure. So let's be careful with that. Where did Meta wind up? Are we going over 6 on Meta here, guys? Yeah, so we're still net 6 on this, so we could wait to see if 600 wants to hold, and that could be into tomorrow as well with only 1 minute left. Yeah, I'm not really doing anything over here, just watching the market. Let me call up those imbalances just to see. So right now we got J&J. Wasn't J&J, didn't I hear they were at all-time highs today? So again, pays to be diversified, right? J&J with a monster move higher over the last little while. So congratulations, anybody on that Johnson & Johnson tip right there. Obviously, Kenvue having some issues, but not J&J right now. That's been spun off. So there it goes. Nice move higher there for J&J. I don't know what BN is. Caesars Group there to end the day. But yeah, Johnson & Johnson, huge move. Look at this. I'm in this name, so that's a good one there, J&J. Procter & Gamble, another one. With only 10 seconds left, we want to thank everybody for joining us. It's Orogenics time, symbol OGen. Thank you so much for sponsoring. If you are in the concussion, interested in that market, go check them out, OGen. There it is, wow. What a battle back. I mean, when we got into that NASDAQ trade or that Tesla trade, I said, maybe we can get back to like 0.75% or something like that. And right now you're down 0.8. So good little move back there in the NASDAQ, creating not as bad of a rebound. It looks like the ES was the one that had a hard time. They stayed down that 0.9%. So NASDAQ, nice battle back, probably led by Nvidia. We did see Nvidia get that nice little rebound there at the end of the day, only down 1.85%. Tomorrow's another day, everybody. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for joining. Very interesting day today. Greensville here, and I hope so far for you guys. If not, doesn't matter. Make sure you do join us tomorrow, bright and early at 8:30, where Neil, myself, Sharif, and Brendo will sort of guide you through this market. Joe will be here, obviously, with upgrades and downgrades, talking more about options. We're excited tomorrow. It's Tuesday, but right now, it's just Monday, and it's market recap with Adara and Neil. So get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, everybody.
What the heck was that laugh? Thanks, Sean. Your market recap brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. What was that laugh just now? That was the most ridiculous sounding laugh I've ever heard, but that's absolutely fine. Adara just mentioned something to me which could be a little bit spicy tomorrow. I know we have Nvidia earnings coming up on Wednesday, but Oracle has their investor day tomorrow. Oracle has its investor. What is the worst that could possibly happen? Oracle, which was part of the bloodbath. It's not a bloodbath, but the negativity today. Certainly, I would say the negativity today led a little bit by crypto space because there was a lot of liquidations in Bitcoin and some of the crypto adjacent names that took it on the chin the most. There was some positivity in the market. Alphabet, because Berkshire took a stake in Alphabet, which is 10%, their 10th largest position, just a baby position relative to everything else, maybe leaving some room for more. That ends up 3% to the upside, but realistically, that was trending down for most of the day, just like the overall market. And I mentioned this Oracle investor event tomorrow because much like the rest of the market, it was down 1.5%. But if you have a look at what's been going on, I don't know if you guys have seen Oracle lately, but when they mentioned that crazy guidance entirely due to OpenAI, they are distinctly underneath that breakout on the daily chart, which is at about $223. So they get their investor day tomorrow after they have pulled back, just a neat and tidy 35% from the highs.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts on this, and if anyone's heard me rant Oracle, I know a lot of people have actually been kind of critical of my criticism towards Oracle, but here's the thing. If you've spent time going through the company's earnings reports, as I did, going back like 5 years, as I did, then I think you are allowed to have an opinion on something. That's just the opinion I am I have, and I am fully willing to stand by that. But yeah, let's also the CWAN. I mean, I already heard reports of this. So this isn't really new, but I can't even pull it up on eSignal. Yeah, so CWAN actually is moving post-market here. Thoma Bravo, which is a buyout firm, apparently making an offer to acquire Clearwater Analytics. So I apologize, guys, that happened right at the close. But yeah, CWAN or CWAN, if you will, around 3:56 p.m. Reuters reporting that Thoma Bravo has made an offer to acquire them. We already had this. It was on the watch list last Wednesday, so it's not new. But I do want to mention Oracle again here, if I may, Neil, and cut me off if we have anything. So here's my thing with Oracle. When you have a metric that you barely were using, at any point, that wasn't even in your Form 8Ks until that report, and then you happen to tout it out when you have a double earnings miss, I wonder about the veracity of that metric. And then furthermore, here, guys, here is the actual look at what they've reported. So this is their fiscal 2023 to fiscal 2025 revenue here in this segment. And I want to point out I had to math these myself. I had to do my own math on these because Oracle does not have it on their fiscal reports. I did my own math on this. So that shows you how little they cared about this metric. And then all of a sudden they come out with this guidance. They've actually, I think, upped the guidance since then. And you might be thinking, how could they up the guidance since then, Adara? It hasn't even really been 2.5 months. Well, they've been very enthusiastic, guys. So yes, I know I have beef on this, but I've done the math, and the math, to put it quite simply and plainly, is not really mathing here. I have a lot of questions as to how they're going to justify this guidance. And I think this could be the first kind of, pinata to get burst here with regards to the AI bubble. And I'm not saying Oracle is a bubble, but I'm saying that the math for this infrastructure thing is a little dubious.
Well, I mean, if you could make the argument that it's more than filled in the gap since they came out with that initial crazy, which a lot of people thought at the time was a bit of a crazy guide. It's lower. I mean, what are you going to do? It was really poor timing. It's almost as if they were like the canary in the coal mine, but it is underneath that, so to speak. So if it breaks down any further, that's even worse, I would think. That being said, they would not be the first company to try to put some positive news out there and spin something when they know they have some bad reports coming through.
It's the extent to which they spun it, though.
They've been aggressive with guides before. I will say that. I mean, the company, it's been around a while. When I started trading one of the Four Horsemen, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, not looking very good. It was crazy guidance. But I think we saw a few things today, which I think. I know it's bad and no one's happy when the market goes down, but you can start to see a little bit of kernels of strength out there. We had mentioned Eli Lilly. While not making, I don't think it made a fresh all-time high today.
I got close.
I think it got really, really close to making another fresh all-time high without actually doing so. Ends up flat. Some price, I would suppose maybe some profit taking happening up top. As Sean had mentioned, and we had mentioned a couple of times throughout the day, you had J&J, which was showing a little bit of strength. So you got some strength in the healthcare sector as this rotation plays itself out here. Whether it's just the AI trade you say going down, I would argue it's not just the AI trade. If you're thinking it's just the AI names going down, look at anything that was frothy in the nuclear sector. Look at anything that was frothy in the quantum space. Look at anything and everything that was frothy in the crypto space. All of these types of things are going down, whether it's any kind of crypto treasury play is getting crushed today. You can make an argument with the quantum names. IonQ had positive news this morning. Well, I mean, some would call it positive news with an acquisition. And it was it's holding green because of that, at least. But at the same time, it also was almost cut in half. Recently. So you've got some kernels of strength, I suppose, in this rotation play. I think you can look at some financials for that, but mostly in healthcare is where we found a little bit of the oomph, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and I think one thing too the reason I just wanted to say something there is IONQ and QUBT are both attending this Super Compute 2025 conference. That's gonna be tomorrow. I would certainly be keeping an eye on that. If I see any updates from them, I'll let you guys know. And I do want to mention as well, and I'm gonna do a bit of a shameless self-promo for our daily calendars here on X at TTV Research, because sometimes I'm not gonna necessarily look at or see all of these names, but if I see some of them moving, I'm gonna remember, hey, they had an event. And again, I'm lucky that I will remember these things, but the point I'm trying to make is, if you look at these calendars, now obviously not all of these are gonna move on a given day, but if you do see them moving, I think it is worth noting, and that's how you can see here Oracle having its annual shareholder meeting.
Yep.
That's how I knew that, because I was making this calendar. We have IONQ and QUBT at the Super Compute tomorrow. We've got Boeing still at that Dubai Air Show. Shout out to my good friend Kelly Ortberg. You know, I'm not going to live that joke down, so I'm just going to play it up. But yeah, Arista Networks, Cadence, Cisco, CVNA. Keep an eye on CVNA for sure. And T-Mobile and Visa all attending this Wells Fargo Summit. So tons of events tomorrow, guys. And you can find these every single day. They're posted at 3 p.m. Eastern the day before. So this one for tomorrow was posted today at 3 p.m. Eastern.
And you can see on that note, we get the start of retail earnings with
There's an infographic for
Depot. And let's just say Home Depot, things have not been going very well for this name. Look, is anything not pulling back off of the highs? No, but Home Depot comes into this report looking incredibly weak. Look, they're not the only ones we get. We're going to get Walmart a little bit later on. But it is, outside of Nvidia, this is retail earnings week. And you're coming in here with a lot of people concerned about the job market and what that might mean for the strength of retail. You had some admission that prices have been going up, and that's been strapping a lot of the consumers. So this is going to be a big bellwether series of bellwether reports, I think, for the overall market in here. We're going to see starting tomorrow morning, and then on top of that, there were a couple of names that you might have seen there. One of those being Pinduoduo, which last I checked was a Chinese stock.
Yes.
And at least today, I mean, oddly enough, there was some news with Alibaba. Of course, that's a NASDAQ stock, Neil. What are you doing, PDD? But you saw some positivity with Alibaba, basically because they had, look, they had a couple of stories last week. You know, unfortunately for Baba, they had that story where the U.S. government was accusing them of helping the Chinese military, and that had tanked it. Then they had some positive news, at least with regards to their AI today. A bit of a mixed picture. But so it was able to hold up a little bit. It was actually green. Pinduoduo was not. Going into this report tomorrow morning, Pinduoduo is literally breaking the trend line going into the report. So this could be one. We've seen this move before, but it's off the highs. It's already breaking down here. I could easily see us retesting. If it's not good, I can see us retesting that 200-period moving average here for PDD. Baba was just built a little bit differently, which it usually is. Alibaba doing okay. But PDD, I think that one's going to be under considerable amount of pressure, at least going both the China sentiment, which we know has been a bit of a trouble, and then you throw back in that it literally broke the trend. The 50-period got closed underneath. You're saying this stock could be under some pressure. So while retail is going to be on the mind, this name is going to be on the mind tomorrow morning. But realistically, the second you said that Oracle investor event, my thought went to how much AMD moved on their event, and how much Oracle is under pressure in this earnings season. And that's the big thing to watch tomorrow. I don't care.
And I think there is going to be a difference here, too. I want to clarify between like this, which is just like a stockholder meeting, and the kind of analyst fanfare, the analyst fanfare that AMD had. Like they literally had a cocktail reception and intermissions. I do not think Oracle is going to be that. But I think it is worth noting and being aware of. Also, Feds Waller. Okay, I also want to talk about this. This is our fun retail earnings preview, a master list here on X at TTV Research. So this shows you every single morning who's reporting. They're also like in order of the ETA, and then the revenue and EPS estimates for each of these reports. Now, there are also individual earnings infographics coming for these too. So we have one for Home Depot. Tomorrow I'll be posting Target. I might do Lowe's if I feel like it. And then, of course, Walmart's going to have its own. So just be aware, guys, this is a master post here in X at TTV Research. I'm posting all of the other threads under here. And Feds Waller, talking a lot about Fed independence. And I don't mean Fed independence from politics. I mean Fed members being independent of one another. He's actually saying that he believes that the Fed may soon show the least groupthink in years, and that these razor-thin votes that we're having quite a few dissenting votes, can actually undermine the confidence that people feel about future Fed decisions. So really interesting stuff. Yeah, very interesting stuff. And I saw in the chat, Ian Rispetto mentioning Microsoft's event starts tomorrow. I'm looking into this. Their Ignite event. It's like a 3-day event. I don't know exactly. Those are usually pretty low key. Yeah, like I don't even know what's going to be in that one, but it's a 3-day event that does start tomorrow. Don't know if that's, again, I don't know how much removal it's going to be. It wasn't on my calendar either. Like, no, I literally, he mentioned it. I just pulled it up now. I just pulled it up as well. I never saw it. So we'll keep an eye on Microsoft as well. There's going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot at stake, but we were talking, like, you get Walmart and Target later on in the week. It is a retail focus, but I think you put that off for a couple of days.
because those are the two bigger names, and they come, after the close, one tomorrow, and then I think we get Wednesday as well. So you are going to be thinking a little bit more about tech with regards to maybe now Microsoft, certainly Oracle, obviously Nvidia and everything that comes with it. But a couple of things before we get to that. I just wanted to mention, like Oracle, this one might surprise a few people. And if you look at Oracle, going from the February highs, this is actually, if you time it absolutely correctly, like at the best, in January, you're actually up on Oracle. But if you look at some of the February highs, Oracle only barely broke and made some new highs. So not Oracle, so Walmart barely broke and made some new highs. Otherwise, it's been very, very quiet. So this is a name that I think is, like, I like Oracle, I like Walmart. This is a name that I was dip buying in the early year, and I'm starting to think, as boring and weak as this looks, I might be wanting to stink bid this one as well after this earnings name. Like, if there's weakness that comes into retail, this doesn't seem to want to get off the schneid, and might be one that becomes like if it dips underneath $100, I start looking for the buy over there, because, Walmart, and I know I said Oracle a couple times, I meant Walmart. This is one that screams a potential dip buy. It's the name I like in the retail space. And certainly there's enough selling in here that makes me think someone's holding it down just a little bit. Costco's been pretty quiet as well. There's Sam in the chat. You're absolutely right. Some people say when the stock is dead money, oh no, the stock is dead money. The way I look at it is this. Okay, fine. If I like the company and everything about it I like for the future, then I'm a buyer when it's dead money. If it's on that list for me. Walmart's on that list for me. So when it starts to look like dead money, if I still like the story, then I'm a buyer of the stock, and I DCA into it. That's just my particular approach. I do believe we have the NOS boss coming on and ready to lock and load, so you know what time it is. Let's get a little trader talk with one of our favorite guests. Michael, it was a good day for the Bears. Let's just get that one out of the way, although it required patience off of the open. So we talked to you this morning. Thank you for coming back on through in the afternoon. Hope the week treated you well, at least for the start. But as I said, it was the Bears really went out today.
Yeah, and we're still dealing with what I think is kind of the most important zone that we got to watch here right now, and that's, your 6,600 or so on the SPY. We bounced there again. That's the third time that we've put in a level there. To be honest, I'm just in the camp that anything that happens before Wednesday is just noise, right? Nvidia is the only thing we really care about at this point.
I tend to agree with you. That being said, it's kind of hard to ignore what's been going on in crypto land. If you look at the daily chart, I have IBIT up just so everyone can see. This is broken through support. When you zoom out far enough, you start to realize that there's really, from that breakout, the big breakout that happened at the low 70,000 area. Really, that's what's left if we lose the support right now. If we lose this support level in here, and IBIT's about 52, you are talking about a 20 to 25% gap fill down to the next individual level. And the thing about that is, it might not care what happens. Regardless of what happens with Nvidia, at least that's a space which might not matter. If it breaks down there and there's more liquidations, it's going to do its own thing technically, regardless of whether Nvidia saves the market.
Well, and it's a source of liquidity, and I think that's a lot of what's happening. I think we're still recovering a little bit from that, it was the cooking oil crash or something, where a lot of these crypto went to zero. You were seeing some of these coins just completely, bids fell out, huge liquidations happen. That's really got to hurt from a sentiment point of view, and we need to see some amount of buying. Michael Saylor, no one cares about anymore. All of these gurus of the crypto space are just kind of picked the wrong time, but totally agree. You got a huge level here at 70,000. We highlighted this way back. I remember talking about when we had the breakout and the retest. I'm wondering if this is just Bitcoin now, that everybody wanted institutional involvement in crypto, and now that they got it, they have to deal with what we deal with in equities, which is mostly nothing and then small periods of time of movement. So I just wonder if we're kind of in that zone right now. One thing I did want to point out quickly with crypto is the relative strength in Ethereum is very interesting to me. And you can look at that kind of purely if you just do Ethereum over Bitcoin. So this chart, if this chart is moving up or holding up, it means people are looking at Ethereum over Bitcoin. And I just wonder if that's the case. For me, I'm kind of out of the whole space. What I want to see is MicroStrategy kind of have to liquidate. And that could cause probably the greatest Bitcoin buying event of all time. If this guy's forced to sell his shares, who knows, or sell his coins, who knows what the price could go down to. Could be catastrophic, but I think it'd be pretty short-lived.
Oh, I would tend to agree with that 100%. That would be one heck of an event. Of course, you know, that'll happen on a weekend, but it's a good thing. Crypto is a 24-hour market. But sort of actually now thinking aloud here, in that same vein, if that would be the case with Bitcoin and Sailor and strategy, well, then you just mentioned some relative strength that's happening over in ETH. What about BMNR? Could that not be? Is that a similar concern? I know you were mentioning the relative strength in ETH, but would that not be a similar concern? I understand that Sailor's been doing it for a while, the position's bigger and all that, but do we not have some of the same concerns potentially with ETH and BMNR?
Yeah, and certainly the whole crypto space is correlated. You're not getting, you know, there's a giant liquidation event in Bitcoin and everything else is fine. That's just not the way crypto works. It all kind of moves together. What I need to look up is essentially the ratios, like how much of Bitcoin on a percentage basis, or even like, let's say, I guess, average daily volume, does Michael Saylor hold versus, Tom Lee with Fundstrat and BMNR? I would imagine it would be a smaller percentage, but I could definitely be wrong about that. And that's what I would look at to see. But yes, if Bitcoin goes, then everything else is kind of going with. And again, just to be clear, I don't know that that's going to happen. I hear that his level is around 71,000, which is still a long way to go from here. But I'm just saying, if it does, I am running to the bank and getting as much money as I can out and putting into Bitcoin at that moment. It would hurt to be a holder during that, but I think it could be one of those, you know, you just hold your nose and you buy and you make sure you can service that debt for a couple of years while things recover. Because if we go back, people forget that Bitcoin regularly crashes 70+%. It just does. It's like its favorite thing. That's an 80% drawdown there, right? There's another 80% drawdown here. So, you know, the original holders, they shouldn't be surprised if we get another 50, 60, 70% drawdown from here.
Yeah, a lot for sure. And you know, as someone who has the ETH I have is all staked, so I ain't getting out of mine. But it certainly hasn't been doing the best. But I wanted to look. If we're waiting for Wednesday, a lot of traders. You said yourself, we're waiting for Wednesday. Nothing matters till then. But we opened the afternoon here talking about some of the strength in healthcare. There was some potential breakouts that were happening in energy. Right? Like oftentimes, like we just sit here and talk so much about what's going on with the tech names, or you know what's going on in crypto and some of these high flying, and we don't necessarily look at some other place we might hide or find a bull market emerging. So, Michael, you had some ideas before. I just wanted to maybe circle back to, hey, what is there that is still upward trending that looks strong that people can have an eye on while everything else seems so doom and gloom? The Qs are like 8% off the highs. It's not that crazy, but certainly we got to look elsewhere at times, which might be right now.
Well, and I agree that this doesn't feel like a bear market. I know if you're in quantum computers, it feels like more than a bear market. It feels like a catastrophe. Or if you're a big crypto guy, same thing. But this is the chart. There's a daily chart right here of the XLV or healthcare, and not only is this a monster, but this massive breakout. And this was, you know, that temper tantrum that happened on Twitter about, you know, birding all the healthcare companies, essentially, that Trump was doing. And then the next week, we just rip higher. Just a huge move for healthcare higher. So this shows that there is strength out there. And what it feels like more than this is a bear market is it feels more like this is rotation, where people maybe and this is just my theory, are locking in gains. And by what I mean by that is if you were long the Qs or any AI play or Nvidia or anything all year, you made a ton of money and a ton of percentage return, Rigetti, whatever. It may be one of those times where I just want to, if I'm a giant hedge fund manager and I've just posted a 20, 30% return, the one thing I'm thinking about going into the end of the year is my bonus. And what I want to do is potentially roll into, sell some of these high flyer names that have made me so much money, but are very volatile and very subject to the earnings report of one company, and take that money and roll it into names that will just be fine. And, if you look through healthcare, if you look at the components, you look at a J&J, this is looking absolutely amazing. But, say we do enter a bear market between here and the end of the year, Johnson & Johnson will likely be fine, right? Eli Lilly will be likely okay. These things pay dividends. Even UNH, which is kind of, been beaten up a little bit earlier this year with legal problems, that one's holding on really strong. So it feels like under the hood, between healthcare, between energy, between some of these areas, that people are just, flight to safety, I guess is the term to use it, is let me just pair some of my AI gains because I've had an amazing year. I want to lock in my bonus and I want to move that into names that will just be okay and pay me a little dividend and be defensive if there is something that's going to badly happen to the market.
Yeah, I tend to 100% agree with you there. But the psychology is a lot of traders, and I was just mentioning to some people in the chat, like it's so easy to be like, oh, I'll sell some, but you don't sell out of everything. Just out of my curiosity and all of our curiosities, it's been a really good bull run for swing trading. Like swing trading has been crushing it. But just for yourself, do you have any, like, of all the swing longs that have been working over the last year, are you still riding anything at this particular point, or has everything come out and it's like, okay, now we're just completely sitting on our hands and waiting for either rotation or maybe some dips elsewhere? Do you have anything left on?
Yeah, well, I am more in cash than I have been all year at this time. And again, I'm a systematic guy. The algos drive the way, but I still own some Apple and Nvidia and things that are holding up a little bit strong for our swing trades. I'm just looking down at what got triggered today. Generally, we split our account into 15 for swing trades, so we can have up to 15 different positions on. Right now, we've got 5. So sitting on a lot of cash, probably across all my accounts, over half in cash, which again isn't my particular choice. It's one of the advantages of being systematic with trading is that if there's no setups to be had, then the system will just not take any setups, and we don't have to really look for that. So it's been an amazing year. It's been a great year so far. I hope it continues and I can find more trades with it. But yeah, it's been eye-opening, kind of watching my system kind of completely by itself. And I think a lot of it is because it needs stocks to be, over certain moving averages and generic kind of things to determine strength, finding less and less of that, and therefore just putting me in less and less positions.
Which is absolutely fair. And I think that's the thing what everybody needs to hear. Like, what often happens is the market overall goes up in the long run. So we spend so much time trading, winning, or existing in bull markets, and then we have these periods where everyone goes into this like panic mode when we start pulling back a little bit that don't end up lasting as long, but it's okay. And I think I'm pretty sure I saw someone in the chat saying that cash is a position. It absolutely is a position. Thank you for sharing. It's just, I know we've been talking about how great a bull market it is, and not to put you on the spot, but certainly it needs to be heard because look, I'm not a big swing trader, so when I sit and say, oh, well, I'm not really in any swings right now, well, it doesn't really matter. I don't do it very often. But for yourself to say that, okay, well, 2/3 of your swing account is now out and you're sitting in cash, that matters. But it's being ready to deploy, getting that, you like to call it the shopping list out, I suppose, out there. So before we get you out of here, speaking of said shopping list, Michael, anything that you haven't had a chance to talk about? I know, look, you mentioned the places that you can rotate into. Talked a little about energy this morning, of course, just now with the healthcare names. Is there any particular names out there that you haven't got a chance to talk about? Maybe it's on your list, maybe you're still waiting for it, coming into levels, something you're looking to put on?
It's funny. So we just talked about how the system's kind of naturally rotating, and I'll go through just some of the names that we picked up today. And they are kind of naturally rotating into more defensive names kind of on its own. So Dominion Energy. I don't know when I've ever. This is a very boring kind of energy stock, and it's funny. I brought energy stocks to you guys this morning, and had absolutely no idea that this would trigger going into today. Right. This is again the fun part about being a systematic trader is I come up with my own thesis, and then the robot does whatever the robot does. And it bought this Dominion Energy, and the simple idea here, it's a lot of these look the same, is that you had this massive push up last week and this big bull flag, and then it's looking for relative strength. Right. The market sold about 1% today. This one closed up at its highs, so we bought a little bit of this name. Long-term chart looks great if it can ever get through these kind of prior highs at 61, 62. And then we did some mean reversion. So we're hoping that some of these names bounce with an OTEX, Open Text Corporation. No idea what it does, just a little bit overdone to the downside. And then the other one was TSTAT. TSAT. So some breakouts, some mean reversion, just out there hunting for relative strength. And just to piggyback on your comment of cash, it's very freeing. So if you're someone who has given a lot back from this amazing run already, consider, maybe, I'm not going to tell you what to do, I'm not your dad, but consider raising some cash here, because not only is it freeing that if the market continues, you have that cash to deploy somewhere else, but it becomes very mentally freeing as well. As much as I never want the market to go down, because I'm an optimist and I want as much people to make as much money as possible, I'm totally okay with it, with being 2/3 my swing account and roughly half my investment account being in cash, because I just look at it as, okay, now I can sit here and take less of a hit on the way down than the market does and the large majority of people, and then potentially deploy that cash at a lower price. And I think that's the thing that we need to look out for as traders, is when can I, just because I'm selling now doesn't mean I'm selling forever. It means potentially I can get a better price on all the stuff that I already love.
Well put, in perfect way to end the discussion there. But I will say this, Michael, you don't know OpenText. I walked past, when I was in university, I walked past their headquarters all the time. They're Waterloo.
What do they do?
They came Waterloo based. So I was out there for, no, it's just that there aren't many Canadian companies that ever get remotely mentioned on the show. I know you're out east, but OpenText, I'm pretty sure I knew a few people that worked there, if I think back long enough. Back when I was at university, which was a while ago. But Michael, it's always a pleasure having you on. Thank you for not only just sharing your ideas, but also what you're doing with your account and how it's been going. Valuable information. We always appreciate you. You can check him out over there at Stats Edge. Our good friend Michael Moss. Good luck the rest of the week. Maybe Nvidia saves market, maybe it doesn't, but we can be ready for it with some great ideas like you just shared with us. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
I'll talk to you Friday. Have a good week, guys.
All right, take care, brother.
Thank you, Michael.
He's always a nice, calming.
I know.
No matter what the market is doing, he's got a great perspective and a systematic way of approaching things. Always love having Michael on.
Yeah, he's always a really chill energy and a good way to end the day and start the day.
Well, we can't end the day just yet, Adara. Want to know why? Because we haven't done roll call yet. Come on now, everybody. The markets may be down, but your spirits can be up when you get your name read in rapid fashion by Adara for roll call. Not only does she make sure that we stay informed via infographics and live news all throughout the day, and then, of course, making sure that my lack of a memory is, let's just say, remedied on a daily basis. But she literally forgets nothing. So you just be like, Adara, what's this? And when did this happen? And who is the CEO here? And when did they have this event? And then she'll tell us every single time. And that's why she's a great resource. And then she's able to give you the roll call. So jump in the chat to do that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because it's a subs only chat. And we'll jump in here and say, get it, Adara, as we get some roll call. I see you, Mike Peter Ryder, all day, every day.
Yeah, thank you so much to Neil and everybody here in this chat for the very kind words. I want to thank Mike, Peter Ryder, Andrew Chow, Lee Yee, Holly, Jaguar Nut, Byron, Brian Fitz, Nicole Bearded Warrior Trades, D3, Marrakis 100, Lady Blaze, Chris R over here. We've got Bora, Los Pollos Hermanos, William Knight, Chaos God. We've got a Hero, Dinkelberg, Neil Roberts in the chat, Adrian, Rob Jenkins, Ian P, Ronnie R, Big 40 Nephew. We've got Travman, Trevor Brucker, Ryan O'Day, Bhavin Patel. We've got Toilet Brush saying yo back to you guys. Shenanigans, Rob Jenkins, Donkey Trader, Licanoli. We'll end there. Thank you guys so much here. Thank you, Neil, Sean, Sharif, Joe, Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Brendan, Mark, Rob, Randy, Russell, everybody you see, everybody you don't see. Thank you to this awesome community. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow, so don't miss a beat. Enjoy.
And don't forget, we have that Oracle event tomorrow. Adara is going to keep us all apprised of that. Oracle's been moving a lot. You can bet it's going to move tomorrow on that event. Stay tuned. Rest up, obviously. It's been a wild Monday. It's going to be an even wilder rest of the week with Nvidia on Wednesday, and a heck of a lot to cover. We're Trader TV Live. It's been brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX, and we'll see you in the morning.
See you.